Well, our goal is to keep you on your toes. That's what we're doing. How is everyone today? I hope you're all having a wonderful day. I had a nice little morning. I overslept this morning. I woke up at 5:30. Coffee break, but I just sat down with my coffee. All right, how about this, Fatal? I promise that the first time that I take a break, I'm gonna make coffee, okay? Is that okay with you? I've got one more cup left right here. I appreciate you, sweetie. Opposite of on my toe. That's true. Maybe for a brief moment when the sound got loud, you got onto your toes, proverbially speaking. So religion's neat. Fun fact about me, I used to be Baptist. I was raised Baptist, that is. And now I'm an atheist. But now, generally speaking, I listen to, and I'm not going to use the word study, but I listen to a lot of religious material and religious podcasts and stuff, more so for the discussion of epistemology, how we find things to be true. And I find the entire concept incredibly interesting. I really enjoy talking, especially to believers whenever they don't try to convert me. Whenever somebody tries to convert me, it just, I don't know, it flips a switch in my brain and makes me really upset. But I really enjoy talking about religion. I think it's super fun. You're that's neatest. That's fair. That is fair. I do think religious lore is very fun. I think it's very interesting. One of the things that kind of like struck me after I started deconstructing is the concept of non-canonical texts of the Bible. And then I started looking into how the Bible is constructed in general. Taking these texts written, of course, taking the Torah and using that as like the base, the Old Testament, and then taking a bunch of fan fiction, essentially, like a bunch of different works and texts that were written hundreds of years after the supposed existence of Christ, and making this fan fiction, and the Catholic Church being the enforcers and the keepers of this knowledge. I thought that was incredibly interesting. And then finding out about non-canonical books of the Bible and things that, were not quite up to snuff to make the cut into the official canon. Super, super interesting. If you ever get an opportunity and you have an inkling of interest, I would say look up the Gospel of Judas and read about Saklas. It's really cool. I need to insert a bean. It still does kind of irk me that I can't just like put a goatee on one of these characters or put like facial hair onto these characters, because a lot of my friends who I'm thinking of, I don't think I've ever seen their face without the goatee on or without facial hair. So it's very strange. I have an idea. I'm gonna take some people that I know from my experience in the world, who very, very strongly pitched religion to me after I had already become an atheist. I'm gonna slap them in here, and we're gonna go a little silly with it, with the religious floor. I want that I'm unsure of myself mouth. that feels good. I have no idea what I'm about to run into in the Floor of Religion, but I expect to run into White Knight, and I will be disappointed if I don't. That's good. I like that. Hakma. So Hakma doesn't have any unique stuff going on as far as his key page. So we're gonna go ahead and I think this would be funny. Hakma with boobies. I think Nikolai is a good look. We phased out Bayard. I need to go take a peek at what we were running on Bina's floor because yeah, these pages are kind of our new setup. Although I wish I could take Bina's stuff with me. Bina's pretty dope. And then we'll slap in Zhao as well. Yeah, I think that's good. All right, we get to jump into some new story. I'm pretty stoked on this. I was looking at the achievements the other day, not the achievements that are coming up because I still have no idea what is actually coming, but I was looking at the achievements that I've already completed and trying to kind of infer or identify what possibilities are coming up. And I've got no fucking clue where the other 500 achievement points are in this game. Will awaken in 3 scenes. If a Heaven's Thorn or the Burrowing Heaven is staggered, this does not go down. All right, let's identify our passives, shall we? Don't look away. If a librarian engages in combat against another character, all other librarians take damage equal to 40% of their max HP. So literally every single attack that we have has to go with this guy. Invisible String of Connection. After engaging in combat with a librarian, inflict them with Feeble next scene. The amount is equal to the number of combat pages the librarian has used against this character during that battle. In Your Sight takes twice as much stagger damage from deflects. Interesting. Okay, so the bonus stagger damage from deflects kind of leads me to believe that using something like a Bion here would be really good, because we'd be deflecting and turning it into a clash, but both of the attacks that are coming in here would get pushed back, essentially. And that would give us a better opportunity of staggering. So yeah, trying to play off of that. Let's look at what we can do here. This is, holy shit, this is ass. So we've got a 6 and a 5 that are both targeting over here, but they're all of these seem to be reacts, right? So as far as I'm concerned, as long as we come in with defensive things and engage with as much defensive stuff as possible, this should be relatively simple. The Heaven burrows. It does. Evidently, it does. Fatal, you mentioned last time that, and I'm trying to make sure that I have it in my brain correctly. I think you had mentioned before that you hadn't finished Bina's yet. Have you done Hakma? Am I misremembering? All right, so we've got 6 charges that we're going to have to play with. I can use Leap That will give us 2 pages, or I can use energy conversion, which is going to give us light back and give us pages. I'm a little bit iffy on... I haven't done Hakma. Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is new this is fresh, wet content just for you. So BG seems like a pretty solid play. We do like buffing our friends. And then we'll hit with a Graze the Grass. That's coming really late. I'm kind of inclined to come in here. Actually, no. I wonder if this 6 is going to get its action first. So if I counter this, if I do it at a 6, and then hopefully that will have us go in first. It's difficult. It's difficult to know how that's actually going to play out. But let's try it out and see what happens. Having Hakma hit first is definitely good. So it looks like that did not happen the way that I was hoping. So I think we've got Feeble now. Yeah, a whole bunch of Feeble. So literally this is all about coming in and blocking. Right? So I don't think we can do stagger damage from anything outside of deflects. Holy shit. Classic joke. Hawk my balls. I did. That was one of the first things I did. I was like, that's really funny. And then I actually, I was like, well, I think Nikolai actually looks pretty good on Hakma, so I went with that. And then I realized that I hadn't equipped the purple tier, and I feel kind of silly about that now. So, thanks for making me feel like a dumbass. Okay, so as far as the order of operations, I'm gonna need to do like attack, block, 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 attack, attack, block, 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 attack. Just trying to see where I might be able to squeeze that in. So this is out of order, but then do we have anything that's going to be block heavy in the front? So I could use concentration here. But that's coming in at a 7. It means that's going to happen first. I don't want that to happen first. Hakma only rolled 7s though, so let me see. I figured out the gimmick for this one so far though. I guess I could use true trigram formation. That is an option. Yeah, because true trigram formation is going to probably... I mean, it's definitely going to hit the first 2 and get those out of the way. And then the second is a 3 to 6, which we have a 6 to 9 to go against. So I think that's got a pretty solid chance of defending. And then we could come in with... I guess Graze the Grass and Will of the City have exactly the same rules. That's funny to me. It did not... Or not exactly the same rules, sorry. 3 to 7, exactly the same rules for blocks. So I could come in with a Graze the Grass. But True Trigram Formation is going to come in at a 5. So we're going to have this come in at a 4. We'll do a Graze the Grass there. 7, I don't know. I don't think I should spend it. Yeah, this should stagger him. Obviously, the true trigram formation is not going to be where we get the most out of it. There's the stagger deflect. Perfect. Okay, now we can follow up while he's staggered. The other ones are not going to awaken. So now, while he's staggered, we can jump in there and hit him as hard as we can. So we've got Fervid Emotions. We'll do a Will of the City to follow up and make sure we've got stuff for next turn. Augury Kick is a good way to boost up stats. I'd love to do that and Observe, but we're not going to have the juice for it. And we've got 9 charge. So I think we can hit with a... Concentration? And follow that up with an energy conversion. He should be dead. I don't see how he's going to survive. Like, even... Yeah, right there. Just like... It's not... No dice. Alright, so let's see what happens next. So we've got another one that wakes up, and then this one is dormant, and will awaken in 3 scenes if a Heaven's Thorn or Burrowing Heaven is not... if they're staggered, this does not go down. Okay, so that's one down. Now we have to take a peek at what this one's dealio is. If it's similar, I've got a strat. So it's got the same feeble thing. We can't engage with another character, and takes twice as much stagger damage from deflect. So it's literally just about deflecting. So the first thing that comes in needs to be this Bion, because that Bion is going to stagger deflect twice. Then we have a block followed by a attack. So we need to do a attack block, which I don't think I have. Yeah, I don't have that. Blockma. True. Yeah, so I think my particular setup is not well, it's not good for this. It's not great for this personally. We're gonna come in with concentration and then energy conversion. I'm just gonna hit. We can rely on getting observe in there, and then we're gonna do brace up as well. I'm counting on getting enough card draw in there to be able to get the stagger deflect eventually, but we didn't even have to. We just did it. Boom. Chip, chop, chip. So this guy's cooked. Yeah, holy shit, we almost did it in one turn. That's what's up. We're all beef-caked up. Great, and we've got Bion on deck. That's awesome. We can plan out a nice little cheeky attack. That's great. You love to see +6 strengthened on Hakma. You just love to see it. All right, I think with concentration and graze the grass, he's probably dead, right? I think he's just dead. Maybe then what we do is we do a graze the grass here. Do we have... We'll use multi-slash, and then I think we're going to do a Will of the Prescript. I don't think Will of the Prescript is going to trigger unless I do it first. And if I do it first, I might just kill him. I think I'm just going to kill him if I do that first. So, let's see. This is on use. Yeah, we use Brace Up. Alright, hopefully we won't kill him. Holy shit, he's dead. A multi-slash killed him. But you draw 3. Do you draw the 3 on... It's on use, so I wouldn't have gotten to draw because I didn't use it. All right, so now the big one's opened, and dormant. This one is dormant for only a singular turn. This is not what I was expecting. I figured it would just continue down the line, and as long as you keep them in order, everything will be fine. So we've got one turn, essentially. We've got one turn. Okay, Soul Focus becomes active if no thorns are awake. Uses a mass attack page on the same scene it became active. Did it? Wings for an Old God. While this character is active, all librarians are inflicted with 10 feeble at the start of the scene. Holy shit, I see that. So literally just defensive dice. While this character is active, all librarians are inflicted with 10 feeble at the start of the scene. In your sight, takes twice as much stagger damage from deflects. And into Cognizance. If this character remains active for 3 scenes, a Heaven's Throne will be spawned the next scene and every 3 scenes after. Yikes. So here's the thing we kind of have to hope for. When this one wakes up, I'm hoping that this one does not, or I'm hoping this one goes back to sleep. That's like kind of what I'm hoping. Alright, so we have to kind of plan these out. So the first 2 attacks, it's an attack block, so we need a block attack. That's easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? Our first one needs to be a block attack. Provided our block is able to beat that, but we have a +1 on our defense, so we've got a 4-8. Let me see if I have anything higher. Block-wise, I mean. I just don't want to use... I don't necessarily want to use Bion to start. Okay, so yeah, we don't have anything higher. So we just have to hope that we manage to block the first one. If we don't, then we're gonna take damage and then only get rid of 1 die. And then Bion is gonna kind of be wasted. And we're gonna use Bion again. for obvious reasons. Okay, and then at that point, if everything goes correctly, the first 2 cards should be cooked. And then it is a 3/8/3/8. And we need to play a block attack. And I think concentration. This is not like the 2 other rolls on concentration aren't great, but the stagger damage that we'll get from that is pretty good, I think. And we'll play a Graze the Grass. All right, let's see how this rolls. No, that's we almost fucked up and did it out of order. Okay, so that did good. The second thing in Beyond did not trigger, so that's not great. But that went pretty damn well, all things considered, I think. Okay, so it went dormant again, but look at that stagger damage that we got in that one turn. That's fantastic. Okay, so we need a block attack, and then block attack, and block attack. I don't, like, without Beyond, I don't think we have what we need. Let's draw a page and see if we can get something on ya boy over here. So we did get Augury Kick, which is something that we can play. I think Augury Kick is the only one that we have that flips the script on our blocks and our attacks. Hey, how you doing, some guy? And thank you for saying hi this time. Delighted to have you here. Just some guy. I have to have you know, if you didn't see the VOD, that your build, your Nikolai build, was the only character that survived when fighting during Bina's realization, and you made it. Your build made it through with like 20 hit points. Like everybody else was dead, and we got lucky, locked the fuck in, and got it. I made a short and posted it on the Discord. These Abnos are not that bad. I mean, I've encountered this one before. This one's pretty neat. I've encountered this one before. Not in a library, but in a past life. All right, so I think we could probably play basically whatever we wanted to here as far as our first attack, right? What was the build? It's this Nikolai build where we go a little bit harder on charges to make sure that we've got 20 and make sure that we have disposal set up. I mean, in this case, disposal's not really going to do anything because, like, even with it completely pumped up, I don't think we're going to be able to do disposal in this boss. But one of the nice things about the build is that I do have enough charges all the time to be able to use energy conversion, to use leap, and I was able to maintain the build throughout the entire fight. So it did work. Significantly better than my previous Nikolai build. It feels better. You and your ma watched Across the Universe? That's a really good movie. It's a really good movie. I remember seeing that in theaters with one of my favorite people. Alright, so we're gonna start off with a Graze the Grass. Let's see, we follow that up with I mean, shit. It's not a lot of great options, honestly. I have like Augury Kick I could play, and that's gonna handle 2. But then we have oh, see, no, I think what I want to do is I'll play like, maybe I'll play something similar to Graze the Grass. So we can start off with an Absorb Impact, follows that up with a Graze the Grass, and then that should be down here to this block dice, unless we fail. Obviously, that's an option as well. But that should get rid of those dice. Then we can use Augury Kick after that. And that's going to lead us into the next page where we're breaking through that block, and then we're blocking this. And then we have one more that we can use that'll be a block attack. My god. I'm pretty sure I angled that just right so we can get as many deflects as possible. Without Beyond, it's a little bit more tricky, I think, to do, but yeah, I think we landed the deflect almost perfectly. I think we missed one. This is a pretty neat fight. I do like the way that it's making me play differently. That's really neat. So So we can blast through those two, and then the block comes there. That's not good. Beyond, or BG could work. Yeah, BG could work, because that's got an attack and then a block. So we'll start off with BG. We need something else that has an attack and then a block. And then something that's got 2 blocks. So what I could do is I could, instead of worrying about that, we're going to use Will of the City. And then we're going to use Beyond. And then if we lock in, I think we could just like multi-slash. And we'll hit him with the old energy conversion at the end to make sure that Hakma has enough light next turn to actually be able to play. And you know what? We could also do a multi-slash. This will assume that this guy is going to be dead this turn. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't even get to play the other multi-slash that I had on deck. But cool. Now this one over here, he's down to just 26 on the deflects. So, all right, here comes the AoE attack. So you love to see it. It's a 3/8 5/9 and it's a mass individual. And then we've got an attack, an attack, an attack. So 3 attacks in a row. I wish I had Beyond. Beyond would be pretty great right now. Being at 10 feeble sucks. It really does. Now we've got 4 strengthened, so we're really only at -6, but -6 is, I mean, it's crippling. it is completely crippling. So I guess we'll play whatever blocks that we can. We literally have coming in here something that needs to be blocked, then something that needs to be blocked again. And they're 6/10s. They're pretty beefy attacks. So I'm thinking concentration. This is probably going to cost Hakma quite a bit. Hakma's going to take some damage here. On the second one and the third one. So Hakma's going to get hit and take quite a bit of damage. But then if that's going to spend both of those dice. And then we have a attack and then a block. So I think playing 2 concentrations back to back just by themselves is going to be enough to be able to stagger him. And then if I play, see, I could play True Trigram Formation on this 2 that I have over here. But then I have to play this on this 5. And that's tricky. I'll use a Graze the Grass. No, I think I might just eat this attack with Zhao. Yeah, I think I'm just going to eat this attack with Zhao. Very, very close. Alright, and then it's an attack block. So we need a block attack. And then another block attack. Not great. We've only got the +1 enduring over here. And that applies for everybody. Yeah, you think that any librarians have trauma from seeing others get made into clerks' mysteries? Maybe. It's possible. They definitely remember all the crazy shit from LobCorp. That's true. I mean, the librarians getting all of their like past knowledge from Lobotomy Corporation is just by itself insane, like full on insano style. So this first attack right here from Hakma, this Absorb Impact, should stagger him. That should be it. That should be the stagger. Everything after, and we can act on 6s. Everything after should go through. If it doesn't, I'm gonna have a bad time. But everything after should go through. Also emotional turbulence. Uh-oh. It didn't land. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. I forgot that we're all like giga feebled. I think the only person who's not feeble is Zhao for some reason. So Zhao is just delivering pain right now. We've got 21 stacks of burn on there. You love to see it. All right, so let's see. We're gonna pad our chances here. I don't like. Oh, we're not even feeble. Okay, it's done. We did it. I was gonna say I'm gonna like pad my chances here and just like play a whole bunch of cards just to try to make sure that we kill him, but there's no shot he survives this. I'm sorry, you're absolutely right. I should have just disposaled his ass, but I didn't. That wasn't that bad. There's a nice soft pitch. I did like the mechanic of needing to make sure that you perform stagger deflects on an enemy. Although I'll be honest, I think they should have put this kind of fight where you need to do stagger deflects much earlier in the game, because it wasn't until I was at least halfway through the game where I realized how powerful it was to stagger deflect somebody. And the stronger your block, the more stagger damage that you do to them. I didn't realize until like shamefully late in the game. There's actually an achievement for inflicting 60 plus bleed and one for inflicting every enemy with a whole bunch of attacks. Yeah, that's one of the things. I haven't looked at the achievements yet. I usually don't go through and check achievements outside of missable achievements. I always check to see how many missable achievements there are in a game, and then I sometimes it depends on the game and how long the game's like time to complete is, but sometimes I will go ahead and make sure that I don't miss anything. This game doesn't have any missable achievements, but I did notice that it does have a ton of achievements, and I think after what I unlocked one for having 6 of the same card by using clone. And I was like, oh, so there's probably a ton of them that are just card combinations or build combinations that you have to do. Hawkma got a glow up. Oh, Hawkma looks good. Hawkma looks, I mean, he used to be a box, like meat in a box, but Hawkma looks good. Ow, my back. Aren't you asking for too many books at once? As I awoke later than the others, I have much to learn to catch up. I was always one step behind others. You mean how you have 1 foot in the grave? Fucking rude. Look at his face, too. Look at Roland's face. What an asshole. Got him. A trifling attempt at mockery. You know, all the other librarians here told me they were following a person called Carmen. You joined her in the research like all the others did. You're right that most others followed Carmen, but I was loyal to another person. There was a man named Ein who founded Lobotomy Corporation and created Angela. I had faith in him. Everyone carries some form of faith or beliefs. In my case, I believed that what he sought to do was the right thing. Roland, do you happen to be a religious person? Nope. I'm not sure if there's ever a proper religion in the city. And the bigger ones are all money-hungry schemes in disguise, so there's no point in putting faith in any of them. Then I must ask differently. What do you believe in? What I believe in? Getting out of this place one day. That is simply called a wish. Guess I don't have any beliefs then. I never had time to care about things like that. I had my immediate future to worry about. We live in a world where it's tough to think about or look back on stuff that won't be helpful right away. Dreams or faith or whatever. You're talking the talk. What do you believe in then? I believe in the eventual arrival of the world my scholar and mentor dreamt of. This faith is the guiding principle of my every action. Just what kind of person was he to make you his devoted fan? He was a man with a far sight. He strove to reach an unreachable place. Doesn't that description also apply to Carmen? Or at least what I heard of her? There is a clear difference. Sir Ein was gladly willing to accept evil for the sake of realizing his cause. Yeah, speaking of that, I seriously don't get that Ein guy. Heck, all he did was revive his dead friends against their will and play house in an underground lair just to satisfy himself. Am I wrong? His deeds cannot be compared to something as puerile as playing house. I don't know how great and eye-opening his enlightenment was, but he left a huge trail of trouble for everyone else in that process, going from what I've heard. I mean, you went through a whole lot of suffering in your second life as Lobotomy Corpse Seraphat, and Angela is still so infuriated. It's all because of him, isn't it? He's looking like a complete mess from an outsider's perspective. He endeavored to reach his goal in spite of such obstacles. He sought to fill the gaps out, one way or another, in order to endure the eroding life. You will never understand it, his sacrifice and dedication. Boy, aren't you a total zealot? They say faith blinds the eyes of the feeble-minded. I believe I'm not the only one blind with faith here. Can't be any worse than you, pal. just walks right into Hakma's room, insults, like complaining about the amount of work that he has to do, and then insults Hakma. Granted, Hakma and Benjamin, I think his name was Benjamin, not my favorite character, not even close to my favorite character, but come on. It's a cheap shot to be like, oh, you old dude, you old bro. Rude. On a deflect, deal half the block dice roll as physical damage to the opponent. Deal 2 to 4 damage in a one-sided attack. In a clash, deal 3 to 6 less damage with attacks, but block dice will gain 1 to 3 power. Deal and take twice as much stagger damage on a deflect. Huh. Block my balls. We get it, Hakma, you're gay. Move on. Dumbass boomer. I don't know if he's part of the boomer generation, but that would be kind of funny. All right, let's see. Who else can I slap in here? I got somebody I can throw in here. This person, when I was at school, randomly grabbed my boob, and she had never met a trans person before, and she grabbed my boob and like honk honk, and then was like, "Oh my god, they're real!" And I was like, "Yeah, they're mine. I grew them myself." But she was like, it was not malicious. She did it in a very innocent kind of way. But she was very religious, and we had a conversation one time where we were discussing religion in general, and then I hit her with just one of my pretty standard questions, like, you know, how do you reconcile, you know, all-knowing, all-powerful, all good with, you know, the actual character that's in the Bible, and giving a couple of examples such as slavery, you know, being condoned front to back in the Bible, and she was like, "I really like you. Let's stop talking about this." She's like, I don't think I can debate. I think it was it's probably a more like cultural thing. Americans tend to enjoy these kind of like rougher discussions and like having fun arguments, but yeah, she did not enjoy that. Ein's plan did work, just, you know, the trauma and death, but those ends would have been meaningful. We see Benjamin, and he was young with Ein. Angela just decided to make him an old man for some reason. I thought Ein and Carmen both had brought them back. I'm trying to remember the first Seraphat that was brought back. This definitely was a combination of characters. Carmen was dead by then? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is I thought that what was it? The boy Tippereth. His name wasn't Elijah, that was another one of them. A lot of them went through the process of sacrificing themselves in in pursuit of Carmen's goals, and I thought that they got boxed by Ein and Carmen, but were like semi-consenting to it. It had to have been Ein. I suppose maybe it was Tip B dies and then Carmen kills herself and everything else happens. That's exactly, yeah, that's exactly what I was saying, is like one of the reasons why Carmen killed herself was because of the little kid Tippereth, the little boy Tippereth dying. So yeah, I was just trying, I'm struggling to get it straight in my head because there's just so much. But yeah, that tracks. I think with the invasion with where Bina and Jebera kill each other, was that post Carmen? I'm trying to, that was post Carmen, because they had already started extracting Cogito and making abnormalities at that point. And she had released, Bina went through and just released all of the abnormalities. And then Jebera killed like all of them. Bina was just like watching and giggling. And then they killed each other. They're making an AI. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Okay. Well, time to jump into the next one. We've got May. What's this one? Remnant of Time and Price of Silence. Unstoppable Time, 12. The special pattern will occur in 12 scenes. Accumulating time, the number of remnants of time defeated so far. And flown time gains +3 power in a one-sided attack. Okay, so that... Alright, let's see. Your Betiting copies the speed dice number, speed values, and resistances of a librarian. Combat pages played by said librarian this scene will be played by this character next scene. So it's a 5 and a 3, so I think it's copying Hakma. On use, all librarians lose 25% of their max HP next scene. Remove the time limit for the next scene. Huh? Is there a time limit right now? Holy shit. That's really funny. Fantastic. No notes, actually. I'm just gonna start playing cards. We're just gonna make lemonade. I'll just figure this shit out. Learn by doing. That's really funny. Of course, they would get me nice and comfortable with oh my god. Where's the timer? Where is it? I mean, there is a way to get infinite time. I just hurt myself to do it. In the middle? I see it now. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to, like, I don't have the brain to be able to, you guys know, I take 5 minutes. I straight up will take 5 minutes to do a turn. Or like to like choose which attacks I'm going to use. I don't know how I'm going to do this. This is an abnormality that is basically just Hakma from the first game. I have no idea how I'm going to do this. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. It also like I can't read their shit. Like I can't read their oh there we go, okay. Copies of speed dice and number, yep, cannot be targeted. Every scene the player is given 30 seconds to select combat pages before the combat phase starts. At the start of the scene, give other allies one of the following. Gain 3 power in a one-sided attack, or 3 power in a clash. At the start of the scene, spawns a remnant of time. If 4 remnants of time are already present, the one with the lowest HP is replaced, and all librarians take damage equal to its HP. Yikes! At the start of the scene, add a copy of Silence to the hands of all librarian. If 12 remnants of time are defeated within 12 scenes, become staggered the following scene. If fewer than 12 remnants of time were defeated by the end, use a mass attack page on the 13th scene. All right, so this is literally like a time attack. I'm gonna quit out. All librarians lose 25% of their max HP next scene. Jesus, tap dancing Christ. That's Insano style, and it applies the next turn. Fuck. Fuck my dude. No, I see that. I see that. Eugen can instantly die. Yeah, I think. I mean, obviously, I didn't play anything. I'm just trying to think right now. Fuck me. Oh, what an annoying fight. Okay. So there are actually a couple of ways that I could do this. Believe it or not, there's a couple of ways that I can do this. And let me think. Because there's a couple of ways that I could kind of cheese this, I think. And I could do it pretty simply. So basically, I could have two decks. 2 decks that I just copy pasta, right? And those 2 decks that I copy pasta can counter each other, right? So I play cards that, like, I'll have to kind of be quick about it for the speed dice or what have you, but I play cards that I intend to counter the next turn for the person who they're copying. And then I have the people jump on that person and counter those cards. Or if they play Thou Art Cooked, I am always cooked. I'm permanently cooked. I'm trying to think, like, as an alternative, what else can be done, right? Because what we're looking at here is I need to he spawns 1 every turn, right? If I pounce hard on the one that he spawns on the first turn, we should be able to get rid of him pretty quickly, right? Yeah, I could also give cards with drawbacks. I'm just trying to think, like, everybody's got cards that could be, like, kind of whatever. Everybody's got to graze the grass, right? Everybody's got to brace up or something. I could graze the grass. I mean, they do get a +3 to clashes and a +3 to one-sided attacks sometimes. Man, that's tricky. That shit's tricky. Ooh, I don't like that. Purple Tear in guard stance is immune to debuffs, so if you have overcharge, she doesn't get immobilized, but the Silent Scythe copying it would. Yeah. that you just offered an incredibly niche and incredibly not you just offered an incredibly specific solution to this problem. I'm still let my noodle cook for a second. I need to let my thoughts kind of stew for a second, because I have like the beginnings of a plan, the beginnings of a play. I'm just thinking like what I could do in theory is play some older cards, right? Graze the Grass pops into my mind, especially because here's a question. If I only play one card, or, and hear me out on this one, if I don't play any cards, do they copy me not playing any cards? Because if I don't play any cards on the character that gets chosen, there is a cheese build built around the W Corp passive that has a % chance to do damage that's all dog shit rolls. Which one is W Corp? Is the Warp Corp, right? And those are older cards. My well of knowledge. The problem is this game kind of forced me to push through a lot of the content so quickly that there's several cards that I just never used. That's like these people, right? The train people. It's like 10% to deal bonus damage. Necrocorp. Yeah. Energy cycle. On hit, restore 1 light. Well, the theory still stands, and I'll have to test this out, because yeah, 6-4. So wait, what? What the fuck? Who are they copying? Nobody rolled 4. Huh? So I just have to test a couple of things out. One thing that's pretty important that I want to test out is I want to test to see if I don't play any cards, if he will not play any cards next turn, because everybody, like, he chose 6-4. I don't know where the fuck that 4 came from, but I just didn't play dice on any of the dice that were matching with his. So he's got 6-4 again. I've got a 7 and a 4. 6-3. So I can safely play all these 7s, right? We'll play that. We'll do a Fervid Emotions over here. And the 2, I can play that safely. These 2s I can play. We'll do that. This 3 I can't play. And the 6 I can't play. I'm a little bit confused, Nicole. 6, 7. I'll do Gaze of Others, and I'm gonna try to just, like, not clash. Alright, these 2 are staggered, so simple attacks onto them, and then heavy hits onto the only guy that's got dice. 6-5. Our 7s are safe to play. That'll kill that. 5s are not safe to play, 2s are safe to play. We'll use Augury Kick over here. 7 is safe to play. Snake Slit. shit. We'll use acupuncture as well. We're gonna try to knock this guy out. Concentration. 5. Not safe to play, but we're gonna go with it anyway. Graze the grass, go! Is this cut content? Is that real life? Deal and take twice as much stagger damage on a deflect. On a deflect, deal half of the block damage. We'll put this on to Zhao. Alright, somehow this bozo managed to survive. I think we had a deflect or something. Same with Nosferatu, that makes sense. Okay. So far we're staying on top of it, and the strategy seems to be pretty sound. Is just hit as hard as I can, as quickly as I can. Sevens and 3s? I think as long as we hit that bozo with that, he should be dead. Multi-slash as well. We'll do Fervid Emotions over here. And, let's see. Graze the grass. And then Blind Faith. No, we're gonna do Will of the City. And graze the grass. Hakma, graze the grass. Concentration. Okay. That's kind of what I'm thinking, actually, some guy. That's one of the reasons I've been focusing really heavily on like using concentration and using the attacks that I know are going to get my charge up really high. So we're just about capped on charge, and this guy's already dead. Like at the end of this turn, he's cooked. So it's fucky because I literally can't do any of my usual like prep work, if you will. I can't like think. I don't even know what die I have. I don't even know what pages I have in my hand right now. I just kind of have to like play the turn really quickly. I wish I had somebody who was able to do some ranged damage, because I'd like to be able to cap that guy out real quick. What are we doing on bonuses? So we've got +2 strengthened to these 3. I want to get some damage boosts next turn. Alright, we got a 3-2. Will of the Prescript. That should kill that guy. We'll play a BG. Over here. Puppet Blockade. A Emotional Turbulence. A Multi-Slash. And then a Multi-Slash over here. And then Leap. Ouch. Well, that one just fucking died. Okay, cool. So both of them are dead. Now we're down to 1. We're kind of staying on top of it, but one of the tricky things here is that we've got, I think this one is copying Zhao. I don't know why, but it's got 4 dice now. Okay, I think I've got enough juice for a disposal here. I just need to use it on one of the lower dice. And I maybe need to ease I maybe need to ease off the throttle. I want to have Zhao go last, if possible. And this one is getting bonuses and clashes. Okay, here we go. Observe, an augury kick, and shit, I can't be doing this. Multi-slash. Zhao, Fervent Emotions, and Theon. And then we hit with Violet Sharpened Blade, and Violet Blade, and he should be dead. I don't think he's gonna survive this. Yeah, he's cooked. I love that we've been keeping burn on this thing because Zhao just keeps burning everything. Alright, 3 power in a one-sided attack. Okay, so I just need to make sure that he doesn't get off any one-sided attacks. I need to recover light this turn with our folks down here. And let's see, Will of the City. And Graze the Grass. Puppet Blockade. And Graze the Grass. And Will of the Prescript. Will of the City. Concentration. Disposal. Oh, yeah, here comes the disposal. That was on the first disposal attack. God damn! Holy shit. Maybe disposal doesn't actually need to be played late. Maybe I could just play disposal. Like, I use 1 attack, 2 attacks maybe, and then disposal. We're about to find out if that'll work. No dice. The first attack, and that's fine. I'm fine with how that worked out. The first attack on disposal, Rip Bozo, yeah. The first attack on disposal, they're weak to. The second attack on disposal, that one was not weak to. So for example, we've got Pierce here. I don't know what the other ones are, weak to, but... Alright. Let's AoE. And then I Graze the Grass. And multi-slash. And we need, let's see, concentration. Leap. And Graze the Grass. Brace up. And Augury Kick. Snake Slit. Got him. How many more do we have to kill? Jesus Christ. Okay, so 3 more. Alright, Hakma needs light. Everybody else is pretty much set on light. We've got a nice spread of bonuses to strength here. So I'm feeling pretty... Insert sad trombone. No more disposal. You know what? Things happen. Everything's going to be fine, though. We use an energy conversion over here. And then we can use a Graze the Grass. And if everybody uses their heavy attacks first... And we go on the one-sided dice. I think this guy might actually be dead before he even gets a chance to do anything. We use an Observe. Got another Graze the Grass on Hakma we can play. And let's see, BG. We'll absorb that. We're just going hard one-sided this time, hoping that the first couple of attacks will be enough to stagger and probably kill. And it worked. Okay. He's got a 6 as his highest dice. Emotional Turbulence. Multi-slash. We can do concentration, leap, energy conversion, and let's see. True trigram formation and a violent blade. This guy's fucking cooked. There's no way he survives this. We're kind of like abusing the superior speed of my characters right now and just hitting them in the hole. Yeah, we're cooking with this. This strategy's working pretty quick. Just go fast and don't ever not be going fast. All right, so now we need to hit this guy really hard with everything that we have and make sure that this one dies, because if this guy makes it to turn 13 and there's a guy still left, it's Jover. Okay, here we go. 6 is the highest he's got. Hit him with an emotional turbulence. We'll use a graze the grass, an augury kick. Got a bunch of 7s over here. We've got Will of the City we'll use to recoup. Graze the grass. We can use blind faith here, hit him in the hole. And then we're gonna need to make sure that we at least block a couple of these. Counter, hit with something. Hit him with the old BG. And energy conversion. Got him! Actually could have made a burn build and killed him before doing the I mean, look at look at that though. He's at 61 hit. He's at 61 hit points. That is pretty funny. And BG. And that. And this. And a little bit of this. And a little bit of that. One of these. Couple of these. Couple of those. Couple of these. He's probably gonna die in 1 or 2 hits, but like, still. That's why burn is goated. I mean, burn is pretty good. I agree, burn is pretty neat. I've enjoyed not, you know, since the smoke build, I don't think I've had like a single gimmick floor in a while. I guess you could say like I did with Bina for a while, having her be like a ranged gimmick floor, but so far things have been going pretty well. Angela, you have spent an immeasurable amount of time alone, from L-Corp to the library. So have you, Benjamin. Am I truly the same being that Benjamin was? Do you find the inheritance of fragmented memories from the past to carry sufficient meaning? You're quite a bit more incisive with your words than before. Did you have a change of heart by chance? Having set my great and dear beacon away in that pillar of light, and having failed to give a proper closure to his ultimate plan, all I have left now is ferocity. The personality and characteristics of our previous selves still constitute us, however. Those are but molds we were cast in. That mold is now being filled with our everyday experience in this place. I don't expect you to ever understand the loops I suffered, but you surely remember the script and how we successfully concluded it, don't you? Possibly so. After all, you are completing our memories and personalities through the books. Alas, the Seraphots residing here are Seraphat, not their original selves. I assume they will all feel it in one way or another, as people that surely were their past selves, but feel as though they were different beings, or a dream. Angela, what has become of the other branches of Lobotomy Corporation? Probably sealed somewhere underground following the shutdown procedures. And what became of the employees and abnormalities in those places? I suppose some survived somehow, though not everyone would have had that luck. You let greed take over and abandoned all your duties. The library is no different from L-Corp. The fact that your way of managing this place is nearly identical to how it used to operate speaks volumes. All I could do and learn for the last 1,000,000 years in that basement was to treat humans as expendables in all types of methods. There was no other option for me to choose, even if I wanted to. Is that why you employ abnormalities and ego as well? You directed the librarians to put on the shells of others' egos in order to amplify their unstable emotional state even further. Do I need to remind you that I only have them do that when they receive guests who also happen to enter voluntarily? You earnestly desire to escape from the past, yet you just struggle to break free, much like me. I'm just using the resources available to me. Since you were already exploited by Ein, it's only fair that I get to do the same. He brought you lot back from death without consent and forced you to endure cycles of pain. You were nothing more than puppets to him, dancing on the stage as he liked. I was born from more of his irresponsible actions too. How can you just accept all of this as if it were nothing, Hogma? It is no longer a matter of whether or not his actions are acceptable. I simply choose to accept it. I am not one to judge my mentor's will. That's idiotic. How could you even do that? Why do you hesitate? Forget it. It was possible because I have faith, Angela. That faith is also what prompted me to give you a chance. This is frustrating. You and Ein are completely insane. You have to be. You're not the Benjamin I used to know. Benjamin, he was the only person who cared enough to tell me it's okay, even though I'm not human. You would be right. The one who stands before you right now is Hokma, not Benjamin. And yet, Angela, I am not so different from Benjamin, in that I do not believe your status of humanity is what matters. Why don't you just go back to sorting books? The player has 30 seconds to select combat pages before the combat phase begins each scene. Boost the power of all dice of all librarians by 1 to 2. Actually, I think I could cook with that. Like, it's a goofy thing, but power of all dice by 1 to 2 permanently? I don't know. I think I could work with that. We're not so different, he and I. Yeah, I mean, Hokma seems like he's being significantly less empathetic, I'll say. Every 13th... But, I mean, I don't know. I feel like Hokma was one of the characters that I knew probably the least about. Every 13th combat page the librarian plays gains 1 to 2 power. Excludes on-play pages. The dice on the page also gain the following effect. On hit, deal bonus damage equal to dice value percentage of target's max HP. I wonder if you had the 13th toll and you played Boundary of Death as your 13 dice or 13th combat page. I wonder if you hit it, would you just do 50% of their max HP as damage? It's like today's Shy Look, but more annoying. I mean, maybe, but if you had really simple decisions, like if all of your cards were pretty much set up in such a way, or if all of your decks were set up in such a way. I'm thinking Smoke Room, where like you have an order of operations as far as like what cards you'll play, and if you have them available to you, you will always play the same cards. I'm thinking about it kind of like that. But it's the power of all dice, like every defensive dice, every attack dice all get bonus power, which is, I don't know, pretty good. Adds a silence page to hand, costs 0 on play, takes 15% of max HP as damage. All other characters lose 5 speed. Add an amplify page to hand, costs 0 on play, take 10% of max HP as damage, gain 5 speed. The page is also included in the deck at the start of the subsequent acts. Yeah, I mean like up to 50% damage. Oh, really? Hod has a funny prank that lets you do that? And then maybe Boundary of Death on Hod would be really funny. Holy shit. We could have done Hokma like ages ago. Was obtain the book of Rudolph and Maxim? That's like 15,000 years ago. Oh, we got an event with Netzach. Let's check this out. What could you be musing on, intoxicated, all by your lonesome? You don't seem to be in the mood for conversation. I don't really feel like treating you nicely. Are you upset about your alone time being interfered? Or is it the shackles of the past that bind you? Both, I guess. I dislike both. I'm denied something of my own and then now, but I do enjoy having drinks with others sometimes. On the premise that I'm not among those others. I'm just saying that I'm not totally against it. I don't think you'll bite, but let me ask you out of curiosity. Want to have a drink? You do know what my answer would be, as you suspected. I don't quite feel like having a beverage. What are you here for, then? There's nothing else to see here. Let's say that I have been visiting others to introduce myself. You're not like before. Perhaps I'm experiencing changes as nobody is ever truly immutable. Yes, speaking of, it would seem that most of the patron librarians have collected their thoughts and made up their minds. What about you? I don't know yet. I'm scared of decidedly setting my mind on something too. If what I chose turns out to be an untruthful answer, I wouldn't know what to do. No man can choose the right path at all times. One only has to believe that the path they are taking is the right one. Such is the nature of truth. It is akin to faith. I hard disagree. Truth is not akin to faith. I mean, there are fallacies and there are logical processes where you can use, you know, solid sound theory to discern what is most likely to be true. It's epistemology. Like, Hakma, you should know this. You should know that. The paths you have chosen, where you stand at the moment, all that you've seen, heard, and touched for yourself constitute the road to truth. You need to carry the faith that you're headed for truth. Thanks for the nice words, whatever that was about. Though what you're saying is all too hard for me to wrap my head around. It's always been. Did you make up your mind at least? Maybe so, maybe no. Peradventure, I will express my thoughts when everyone has formed an opinion. I suppose I shouldn't waste any more of your time. It was short, yet an enjoyable conversation. Yeah, Netzek is literally me, except an alcoholic. I mean, like, I genuinely, like, I appreciate Netzek's. Honestly, I think Netzek is pretty chill. Considering everything that's going on and everything that has been going on, the fact that Netzek way back in the day was just like, whatever, man, I'm stuck here, I have to do this. Give me some Enikafalin and let's just hang out. Don't make me work too hard and everything will be fine. Hey Netzek, we've got a question. Oh, Deborah and Roland are here too. What are you guys doing all like this? What are you guys doing all about like this? All about like this? It's obvious they're all slacking off. And what's all this? Alcohol? Get it together. Look what a mess that hopeless drunkard created. Sup, Tipperith? I'm not in the mood to greet you back. I'm sure Angela won't like it when this reaches her ears. Tipperith, fucking chill. I'm gonna tell Angela. She brought us to the book that one time. True. I was having a light chat with Netzek, then this black suit snuck in. I was just here for a drink, that's it. Anyway, did you all make an appointment to meet here or something? That's a lot of folks coming to this floor at once. Aren't you popular, Netz? I'd never be up for drinking meetings, especially if it's with Netzek. I'm here because Tippereth said she had something she wanted to ask. Then just ask the question and go. Like you'd give a coherent answer in that state. Forget it, I'll just ask another time. Gosh, the stench of alcohol is everywhere. Stop drinking so much. Even the books will stink at this rate. That hurts. Stop hitting. Oh no, Jebra, you shouldn't smoke in a place like this. Other librarians are walking by. Chestnut's right. Smoking on top of books is a bad idea. This spot is full of wood. I don't know if the books can catch fire here, but it doesn't look very good. We literally burn the books constantly to get pages. I don't know what you're talking about, Tippereth. Okay. She seems to be more open to Tip's words than yours. I'm used to it. Hey, it's not like we get to gather up like this often. Why don't you guys have some drinks before you leave? You're so wearisome. You're never, ever gonna see me drinking with you. I was just starting to warm up to you, but now I'm starting to take a dislike again. Maybe replacing you really was the best option. Harsh words, man. Don't mind it too much, Netzi. She doesn't sincerely mean it. We have things left to do upstairs. Thanks for the offer, but no thanks. I can hear you shouting from all the way downstairs. What is this ruckus about? Nothing much, just reinforcing our bonds and stuff. That's why there are beer cans all over the floor. What are you two doing together? I was asked to find a book he needs. I figured that a book on the floor of language would make good supplementary material, so we were heading up. Oh, that's so? Guess I should vamoose. Appreciate the drinks, Netzek. Sorry you told... the story you told was interesting, too. So, Yasad, what's the book you want? She didn't scold us this time. Oh, I'd have loved to see that. Tippereth, you need to, like, pull that stick all the way out of your ass. Holy shit. Chill, girl. She was very, very, very much similar to the way that she is in that scene in Lobotomy Corporation. Although I'm a little bit surprised because she seemed like she had kind of started to mature up in the conversations that she was having with Roland. But right there, it's like, it's like not even teacher's pet kind of thing. It's just like, I don't know. I don't like that. Who's next? Blue Star. Oh, this is an Aleph abnormality. I think Burrowing Heaven was, wow? That was not a he, right? Because Schadenfreude was a he. I think Burrowing Heaven's a wow. Because if you don't look at it, like if you look away from Burrowing Heaven, it's over. the round is over and you restart. Okay, I think I'm gonna take a little break because Fatal ordered a coffee break at the beginning of stream and I've finally finished my tea. So I'm gonna go make some coffee and I will be back shortly. Thank you for waiting. I'm back, beautiful people. I wanted 5 cups of coffee. It's basically 3 cups of coffee worth of coffee. 2.5. I wanted to make a full pot of coffee, so it took a little longer than usual. Because at the end, you know, it gets kind of watery. If you don't let it all mix in appropriately, the taste gets off. The first cup is too strong and the last cup is too weak. So, Blue Star. This is going to be fun. I thought Blue Star was conceptually a really cool abnormality. The music, so far, just like right off the bat, the music is fantastic. Worshipper of the Blue Star. I can hear the sound of the star. Uses a special combat page on the scene when the shrine to the Blue Star uses a mass attack page. If the character's stagger resistance is 40% or lower, instead it uses a page that causes the character to self-destruct. God damn. Just kills you. If there are less than 4 worshippers present at the start of the scene, a worshipper is spawned. Okay. Cannot be targeted. Immune to status ailments. Starting with the 3rd scene, the shrine to the Blue Star uses a mass attack page every 3 scenes. If a character is staggered, kill them and lose 10% of max HP. The Blue Gleam of Hope. If a worshipper dies from the effect of Into the Star's Embrace, so if we stagger a worshipper, they insta-die. If a worshipper dies from the effects of Into the Star's Embrace, all librarians recover stagger resist and all worshippers take stagger damage. If a librarian dies from the effect of Into the Star's Embrace, all worshippers recover stagger resist and all librarians take stagger damage. Okay, so this is, conceptually, this is just about 3rd warning music, Wicked. Conceptually, this is just stagger the enemy and don't get staggered myself. Now, it's going to be heavily reliant on what kind of cards they play. Three, 7, 3, 6, 3, 6. And they don't have any boosts to their strength or what have you, so... it's not too bad. Like, this is basically guaranteed because we have a 4 or 5 plus 5 to all dice. Turns that into a 6-8. Yeah. The 7-9. 6-8 versus a 7-9. Do we roll those dice? I think we don't. I think we roll that out on something else. We've got True Trigram, which we could play. I wanna do a draw. Augury Kick. Okay, that's not really helping me there. So using True Trigram would help me to block one of these out. They take a ton of piercing damage and not a lot of anything else. Let's take a look at what we've got over here. Will of the Prescript could be a solid card to play here. Graze the Grass if we were working with something that's uncontested. But we need to clash with basically everything. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now, is I need to make sure that everything gets clashed with. it's unfortunate because some of these, all of these are pretty solid attacks. I have like no gimmies. I love this music. So good. And we can't intercept anything with Hakma over here, so I guess I'll graze the grass. And then... got nothing else there that we can play. Nothing else we can intercept over here. It's unfortunate. I think we're just gonna take some damage here. Yikes. Alright, well, if we're gonna take damage, I might as well dish out as hard as I possibly can. Yikes! Fuck! Okay, I think I've noticed something that I probably should have paid closer attention to. All of these guys, all of these statues, have different resistances. I think. I'm genuinely tempted. I think I'm gonna play time. I'm genuinely tempted, and I think I'm just gonna do it. The idea here is to just beach weak our way through the bonus to the bonus to stagger damage, and win our clashes. Just clash as much as possible. TikTok replay thoughts. I mean, it is a really strong card, or is a really strong passive. I don't really want to do 13th toll deal and take twice as much stagger damage. I want to deflect. That's I want to deflect. I don't know. I mean, I guess we could put this one to Zhao. Okay, so one of them got sucked up and all of them took stagger damage, and we recovered some stagger damage. So we just need to make sure that one of these stagger hits, we've got piercing. Here, piercing, blunt, slash. So slash goes up top. That means we're going to have purple tier targeting the person up top. Piercing needs to go down to these on the bottom, one over here on the right, and as all of the other ones here on the left. Up here on the top, we've got blunt. All right, let's get to it. AoE. Shit. That's not good. That's really not good. I was not ready for that. I should have been, because I knew that, like, I read that already, but I was not ready for it. Fuck. Just be ready. No time to think. That's true. Oof. Oof. Okay, one of them got eaten. One of mine got eaten too. No, that's never mind. I never actually have somebody down in the bottom left. Okay. Alright, we do have quite a nice little boost to our damage this time. And we've still got blunt, slash, pierce at the bottom. Okay. Oh my god, Blue Star has not taken a lot of damage. So far, this strategy is not paying off. Not really paying off super great, if I'm being honest. That one's. I think I just staggered 3 of them in one set of attacks. Yeah, 3 of them just got staggered. Add silence to the hand of one person. That'll be fine. Huh? I thought they got deleted whenever they got staggered. Maybe only one of them gets... Maybe only that only happens to one of them? What the hell? I think I have one more turn before we have to deal with the AoE attack. The rules, the enemy probably. Okay, I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. Okay, so I can't justify staggering more than one of them in a turn because I don't think it applies. That's so fucky. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. Ew. Uh-oh. Oof. I don't want the best viewers. I've already got the best viewers. Mods, gun him down in the street. Alright, we've got one that's staggered here at the bottom, and then one that's about to be staggered. Now for next turn, this one at the bottom is just going to recover. There's nothing I can do about it. But this one here at the bottom, I need to make sure I stagger them so we can get another tick off of the boss's HP. God, I fucking hate this bullshit. That actually went kind of perfect because we got, I think we got a 2 count on the stagger points. We've only got to stagger 2 more, and I think we're set. Okay. I think we got it. I think we're set. Doing these one at a time is one thing, but doing this shit in a line is gonna be such a pain in the ass. I was so close. This one down here at the bottom should have been staggered, and I think we would have had it. All right, we just gotta make it through one more turn. At what point with silence do you just start pressing P and hoping? What does P do? Is there, have I been sleeping on a shortcut to something? Selects all your dice randomly. What? Seriously? Nailed it. I don't think I would ever do that. I don't think I would ever. I've never done that before. I did not know that that was a thing. Angela, ... You're making an appearance here more frequently than I thought. I don't expect you to enjoy my visits. You are free to think whatever pleases you. So, what is your business? There's something I'd like to hear, Hakma. Is it something the director of the library is unaware of? What would that be? I want you to tell me what you think of this place. Are you here for insignificant advice? I won't press you if you don't feel like giving a response. As seen from my eyes, this is purgatory. You don't see it as a plain hell? The moment the guests sign the invitation and step into this place, they are quantized and copied. Quantized. We're hitting our Google again. Define quantized. I'm assuming that means to have a value added to them, but I'm not sure. To quantize, to limit the possible values of to a discrete set of values by quantum mechanical rules. To apply quantum mechanics or the quantum theory to. to limit the possible values of a magnitude or quantity to a discrete set of values by quantum mechanical rules. I'm not smart enough to fully understand quantum mechanics, as it were. I generally speaking can like conceptualize the particle wave observation concept, and I get the basic idea of quarks, but here, as it applies to the library, what the fuck? Bro is just saying shit. True. Try to speak normally, level impossible. Nobody is smart enough to understand quantum mechanics. At a high enough level, physics just becomes a religion, so checks out with Hakma. Holy shit, I think you're onto something. Ladies and gentlemen, get this man a skillet. He is fucking cooking. It is a preparatory step for their lives to be unraveled in the form of books. Even if they meet their demise here, they do not actually face death in a true sense, because this is akin to a virtual space where simulations take place. You know it well. They merely pass into eternal slumber, forfeiting their memories and knowledge. Angela, what stops you from letting them go? The fate of the guests' lives has yet to be determined, and I presume it is because you are still hesitating. I wonder why I can't let them go, why I hesitate. Our being is made up of the light, including myself. That's why we are unable to leave the library. We simply cannot exist outside of this place. And I want to break this constraint. All of us here could be given a new life, or we could all perish. The outcome will either be one of two. Have you ever thought that the weight of the two extremes are too burdensome to bear? I'm still not sure. This is the path I chose, so I've decided to see the end of it. Is there any way to navigate this infinite space without getting lost? Where are the books that hold significance? Where is the book that I need the most? Is that book truly what I need? Does it exist at all? In this vast void of life, the only compass one can rely on is faith. Without faith, you cannot proceed, even if there is a way, because you don't know what dangers might be lurking in it. Indeed, and every person seeks their own version of a single perfect book that must exist somewhere. Is your faith in it still adamant? Maybe. You lack certainty, unlike when you first began the journey. Why is that? I don't know. I'm not even sure if I really know myself anymore. Do you believe it exists, Hakma? My opinion is not relevant. I suppose not. That's true. It's the most base thing Hakma has ever said. I think we need to like rewind the tape and get a picture of Hakma saying, what I am saying is not relevant. And just like, that is Hakma. Thank you for the hydrate, Fatal. I'm doing it. Angela hasn't killed a single person. She just wants their yummy cards. Angela's like a Magic the Gathering or a, like, I don't know, insert card game here, nerd. And she just is hard addicted to cracking packs. I don't love all this Hakma slander. Listen, Hakma and LobCorp, based. I liked Hakma and LobCorp. He had some really interesting points and a very unique perspective on Ein as like the last person to stand behind Ein. This Hakma is not that Hakma. They are not behaving the same, except for that they speak in annoying prose. Like it's difficult to follow what the fuck he's saying. Bina has a 50-50 about talking about random bullshit or the most relevant lore drop you've ever seen. Hakma just says random shit. That's true. That's true. I agree with that. That conforms to my preconceived notions and my biases, so I choose to believe it uncritically. So stick that in your pipe and smoke it, Keldy. Which librarian is the most likely to chew on books? Definitely Netzach. I mean, if there was any Ennicophilin to be found inside the books, absolutely. He's probably already been chewing on the books the whole time. I don't even know if Netzach's aware he's in a library. That's perfect. That one book can exist because of the strong faith that it exists. That one book can exist because of the strong faith that it exists. When that faith crumbles, so too shall the library. It exists because I believe so. It is evident that the extent of faith differs on an individual basis. For instance, a lunatic's faith will always be true to them, no matter what anyone else might say. It's not that one believes in the existence of something, the belief is what brings it into existence. And when one's faith is broken, their soul expires in most cases. Things that have lost their reason to exist because people no longer believe in them shall disappear. You, however, remained strong. Does Netzach even know she's Netzach? Oh, God. You believed in Sir Ein, just like I did, and even when your faith was betrayed, you sought to start anew on your own 2 feet. Perhaps your wish wasn't limited to freezing yourself. You mayhap want all of us, librarians and even abnormalities, to lead their own lives rather than bind themselves to a role on an artificial stage, so that they can live in true independence without putting their lives in the hands of Carmen, Ein, or anyone else. You're being gracious towards me after all that's happened. It's up to you to interpret it. Ironic, is it not? Sir Ein and I irresponsibly created you and gave you life, and now you are irresponsibly trying to give life into our hands. Say what you want, but you're still going to stop me. That depends on your decision. Until then, I shall trust you and wait patiently. I'll be going now. We got an extra assistant librarian, martyr, penance, and a nostalgic sound. Add a martyr to page hand. Costs 0 on play. For the scene, deal 4 to 6 bonus stagger damage with attacks, but take 1 to 3 damage after a successful attack. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. That's dog shit. And literally anytime the game is like, okay, this ability gives you anything, but you kill yourself. No, thank you. I'm good. If any character is staggered at the start of the scene, they take 3 to 7 damage, and all allies gain 1 strength for the scene. Multiple staggered characters do not give more strength. All allies deal +2 to 4 stagger damage for this scene. The effect of the page activates every 3 scenes afterwards. None of Hawkma's Abno pages are any good except for Lean, which is batshit broken. And the one that doubles stagger damage because it amps Lean. Fervent Beasts would like to argue otherwise. I mean, wait, are you talking about cards I don't have access to? Because, like, Lean, Bloody Wings, on a deflect, deal half of the block dice roll as a physical damage to the opponent. That's halfway decent. And then stacking that in with Nostalgic Sound. All allies deal +2 to 4 stagger damage for this scene. The effect of the page activates every 3 scenes after. Fervent Beasts is Keter. Yeah. I mean, I hard disagree with you that Fervent Beasts is worth it. In any fight post, let's say any fight post Star of the City. Because almost all of these are too long for Fervent Beasts to pay off. You're gonna kill, you just kill yourself. Like, the fights before then, you could Fervent Beasts at the beginning of the fight, and the fight would be over by the time you died. All of these afterwards, we're talking about 10, minimum 10 scenes in an act. I got these Book of Herald and Book of Myrne, and I also got a random Book of Olivier. Oh, this is the Mireille life insurance. Okay. And this is just, oh, that's Olivier. Leaflet Workshop. Yeah, okay, so did I do all of these? Are we just done now? Yeah, wait, that's Bayard. So there is no upgraded, like, Imperatus Civitatis, what are they called? Invitations? I think I did every general reception. Man, I was actually kind of hyped to see more general receptions. I mean, if there's an achievement for it, I don't think I have it. Let me check. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna pull up the old true achievements. Let me burb just to make sure that I don't accidentally dox my account. Just give me a second. It automatically did the thing, but I'm gonna go Verena. There we go. Complete all receptions accessible by general invitations. I have not gotten that one yet. Storm of the City. The story of the city. I have not gotten that one yet. There is a general reception I am missing. At least one general reception I'm missing. Look at that ratio. Hubba hubba. 16.3. Good God. Yeah, I mean, I have to be missing one of them. Let's see. What is... We got... like all this shit down here, the urban myth, right? Like, did I do all of the urban myth general receptions? Book of something. Backstreet Butchers. I thought I had done all of them. Urban Myth Syndicate. Some only show up with certain combos. All right, well then I'm gonna need... Oh, there's one right there. That's one I don't have. Hook Office Remnants. Let's go gun them down. Disposal these bozos. I'm embarrassed it took me more than one turn to get these guys. I've realized now, Zan, that we are two different genres of Ruina players. Are we? How's that? I mean, I am built different. That is true. Two urban myths, you say? Think I can do that. I mean, that's, yeah, two urban myths. I think that's Backstreet Butchers. Two urban myths is Backstreet Butchers, yeah. It's grade 7 fixers. You tend to prefer minimal resource management and think things through. I fuck it, we ball. I don't disagree. I do tend to be a bit silly whenever it comes to thinking things through. Workshop affiliated fixers. Jung's office. Guangmi, Zulo, and Dino are the other unique combo. Guangmi, Zulu, is that one I've done before? I'm more than happy, especially for ones. Give me any unique combos that I might not have seen, and I'll throw that in. It's the Stray Dogs. I've gotten Stray Dogs. I did Stray Dogs. I'm like 99% sure. Dark Alleys. Yeah, Book of Stray Dogs. Yeah, Gyeongmi is done. Zulu. Yeah, we did do Zulu. Right there. Yeah. Oh, just Book of Zulu is a new one. Ordinary grade 8 fixer, capable grade 8 fixer, and ordinary grade 8 fixer. Put all three in? I will. But this is a new one, so we're gonna do it. I will say though, to your point before, some guy, that I do sometimes say fuck it, we ball. But whenever it comes to these kind of games that are, I would say this game is relatively punishing when it comes to like the consequences for mistakes. Like if you make mistakes while playing this game, or you fuck up a turn, or you skip a turn, or you get to a certain point in a mission, and and you make a silly oopsie ooh fucky wucky, you pay with your time. And since here I am on stream, I do a lot less fuck it we ball on stream because, like, while I still get yelled at by like Fatal and Necro for not reading, I read significantly more than I do in other games while I'm playing this. I will, 9 times out of 10, I will engage with the game's mechanics only up until a point where it forces me, or I will fuck it we ball and not engage with the game's mechanics up until the point where it forces me to engage with its mechanics. And that is something that I have regularly done when it comes to, you know, gameplay. Jebra is the most fuck it we ball floor. I agree. And I genuinely kind of miss Jebra. We've been playing with Bina and Hakma to get their completion, to get their realizations. But holy shit, I do kind of miss how free-flowing that was. The other major difference, use singleton. Meanwhile, I tend to hard focus on status effects. Oh, there it goes. Complete all receptions. Achievement just unlocked. I miss Yasad. Oh, honey, me too. I miss your bangin' fucking outfit. It's dope. I also miss Kyle with the pigtails, breakfast, and Akasha. I miss Yasad's floor. I would like to play more floors. I'd like to have more variation. I wanted Malkuth's Happy Memories build to work, but the one time I tried it, I got completely steamrolled and Happy Memories never popped up. I think, and this might be controversial, I don't know. I think there are too many floors, too many characters. In Lobotomy Corp, it's one thing because your characters will die and you won't be able to utilize them, especially when you get later on into the game. I don't feel like they really thought this through all the way, because you wind up in Star of the City, especially. You really feel this in Star of the City. You can only use one floor per fight 9 times out of 10. Like, you're basically stuck choosing the strongest floor you can possibly play, and that means you don't really ever get to play around with the other floors. Also, Jebra gets broken strong. I think I did Red Mist was one of the first ones I did in Star of the City. So you get Jebra really, or I got Jebra Red Mist card really early, and then just there was no reason to swap off of her. I just regret plus Solomamented Yan, and I didn't have to deal with her hands twice. That's pretty baller. Yasad's super strong. I'm sure having a balanced loadout on every floor will never come up. Keldy, why did you say that? That's cursed. God damn it. Now I'm kind of expecting me to run into we only need Jebra. We only need Jebra. I mean, I'm looking at this section up here suspiciously. The greet uninvited guests. And it's, dear guest, I formally invite you to the library. The library's books can provide you with all the wisdom, wealth, honor, and power you seek. However, an ordeal will await you in the library. If you cannot overcome the ordeal, you'll be converted into a book yourself. Angela. And then it's got enemy acts 10, floors available 10, units deployable 46. So it's giving me the general sense that I'm going to need to have everybody kind of like set up. I'm probably going to need to build multiple sets of cards. At least we have more than one floor. Floors available 10. Yeah. We're literally going to have access to all floors, which means we need to realize all the floors before we start this. I'm just invoking curses based on Lobotomy Corp knowledge. I have never made it past 3rd floor. You haven't made it past Hod? I'm not surprised. I know you get super distracted. Final episode of Floor of Religion? It's another Bina where we skip straight to the end. Alright. I'm gonna put my mama in. I'm gonna make my mom a bean. I feel like being on the Floor of Religion is appropriate. Nope, ADHD. Oh, yeah, I know. I was just giving you. I mean, like, I don't even think I really gave you a hard time. I know how you operate, generally speaking, with these games. I'm just delighted that you're here and that you don't care about spoilers, because you get to kind of like experience the game through me in a sense, which is fun, right? Ruina and Sifu are in the same category for me when I'm going to beat them, but I have laser focus on them to get there. I genuinely, I want to watch you play through Sifu. It's been a really long time since, at this point, I think I played Sifu like a year ago, whenever I 100%ed it, and I think it's been long enough that I would be just utterly delighted to watch you play through that. That would be so cool. So make sure you poke me and let me know whenever you're gonna do it. We could do a stream in the Discord. I don't want to give my mom being bedroom eyes. There we go. Just generic eyes 1. I say occasionally when I go back to Sifu, I wish there was another game that had the exact combat style. It's a pretty good one. Twitch not have a thumbs up emote? Well, thumbs up. I also occasionally want to go back to, yeah, not Arkham style games, because they're baby games in comparison to Sifu. I mean, yeah, like, honestly, going back to playing, what did I play recently? Shitballs. Oh, I played Hand of Fate, and I 100%ed Hand of Fate, and it has kind of, it's like a bad version of Souls-like combat and a bad version of WB games style, like Arkham combat. Arkham or Shadows of Mordor, Shadows of War. And I played through it. I enjoyed playing Hand of Fate. I think most of it was like luck and strategy and planning out your turn, knowing exactly how to handle different mobs in large quantity and stuff like that. Just like figuring out the game was fun for me. But goddamn, like, I would much rather have a overly complex but satisfying to do well combat like Sifu has than have a super dumbed down version that when the mobs decide to cheese you, you just want to quit out of the game. Knockdown, pause, smack, smack. It's true. The shield bash and then stand over top of them for a second and then smack, smack, and then stab them. I kind of like laser focused on Ruina so hard I had gone through Nightmare to end Star of the City in 1 week. That's impressive. I think I lingered on Star of the City probably the longest than I spent anywhere else. So that is genuinely impressive. Not Olivier's page. Who are we missing here? That's right. I think on Bina's floor, we're using all of the people that we'd used on Bina's floor. But, who did we have in our... There's gotta be... I'm missing somebody. Because we kind of soft retired Bayard, didn't we? Yeah, we soft retired Bayard. Did you want a wacky smoke build? Well, I mean, we already had Yay, and I don't like it. No offense, some guy. I don't like this build. I don't like it at all. We already had Yi, but I don't like it. I need to get some more voice lines into the Discord. There's a couple very specific ones that I want to put in. Greed is still wearing Alan's page. You can't handle my smokiness. Well, sure. Sure. There's a karaoke bar that I went to a bunch when we lived in Osaka, and I have gone back there a couple of times. And every single time I've gone back there, I have needed to leave shortly thereafter because it is too smoky. Smoke is dead, Pepega hands. If it ain't fixed, don't break it. That's true. That's true. That makes sense. I think we're gonna wind up and get the action music started, and then I'm gonna go pee. What story are you hoping to hear from me this time? Hakma, is there anything you know around here, around how the invitation works? Do you expect me to know it? Or are you merely wishing to confirm what you think is the answer? I may not be all-knowing, but is the same true for you? You two were always knowledgeable, the purpose of that facility, what needed to be done. You knew everything. And you said to us that you would not come down to where we were, followed by a remark about how you hope we never have to face each other from now on. I find it rather alien and laughable that you are coming up here only now trying to converse with us. You previously asked me if I had a change of heart, but now I'd like to ask the same of you. If you won't answer me, I'll take my leave now. How harsh. Do you wish to have a conversation or not? Even though I am sure you did not have to bother in coming here, I will give you an answer as you wish. There can be only one answer. How was it possible for you to construct an architecture as intricate as the library from nothingness? Is there only one iteration of the perfect book you seek? Will it truly grant freedom? A book is no more than a vessel of the light. What's your point? You wish to move onward, but in truth, what you've been doing is simply collecting the light along a course set by someone else. You could make much progress despite having little to no knowledge of the outside world, other than bits of secondhand information. That was made possible by the guidance of one person. The invitation is the guiding hand of your original. It is Carmen's auspices that you are under. Assimilated with the light, Carmen is dictating for where you and your library should head. The invitation is sent to whoever she appoints, guiding them into this purgatory in an inescapable course of events. Angela, you seem to hold utmost faith in the invitation, which is especially peculiar considering that its choices are brimming with Carmen's own interpretations and deductions. You must have noticed this at least vaguely. Are you trying to say that I can't escape from Carmen? Haven't you realized by now? You are a copy of Carmen, yet you can never be the same being as her. The time Carmen had seen and experienced was integrated right into my head, in the form of knowledge and nothing more. I want to escape from Carmen's ascendancy, but then again, I'll be completely and absolutely alone if she leaves my side. You may still have certain others willing to keep company with you even after you have shaken off Carmen's grasp. Is that so? Who do you think would be willing to stay with me? That we do not know. Roland. Roland wants it so bad you can't even... What are you talking about? He's all bricked up every time he's around you. I despise you all so much. I just want to erase you all. God damn, Angela, chill. I didn't even want to bring you back in the first place if possible. That was not an option for me because Carmen interfered. She told me not to kill you, to give you another chance. Angela, do you truly think Carmen is responsible for stopping you? I believe otherwise. It is by your own will that the lives of the librarians and guests are being retained. I wish I could start over. Could there be a better way? Couldn't I pursue a path where at least one more person would meet a better outcome? What should I do? If someone's listening to me, tell me, please. Thank goodness, the corridor gates just worked just in time. Seed of Light scenario error. Please open this door. Don't leave me to die here, please! Thanks, Angela. You helped me realize how meaningful my work could be. Seed of Light scenario error. You're right, Lady Angela. Maybe I'm just a defect who can't do anything right. I must thank you for giving us some room to breathe in this place. Seed of Light scenario error. I suppose I must obey your orders and abide by the principles. You're the only one who really gets me, Angela. Seed of Light scenario error. Every single time Angela was like being good to the people in Lobotomy Corporation, there was an error and they had to restart the entire thing. It's honestly like we went through this already and it like is enough to practically bring me to tears. It's so sad. Why won't any of you understand me? Working with you makes me want to try just a bit harder, I gotta say. Seed of Light scenario error. What's the point? I bet you just want everyone to die. Seed of Light scenario error. Seed of Light scenario reactivated. Seed of Light scenario error. Seed of Light scenario reactivated. Seed of Light scenario error. Seed of Light scenario reactivated. Seed of Light scenario error. Seed of Light scenario reactivated. Seed of Light scenario error. Seed of Light scenario reactivated. Seed of Light scenario error. Seed of Light scenario reactivated. I was always alone from the beginning to the end. It was foolish of me to believe that anyone would stay around. You lot and I, we were just exploited and ditched. Such was the script. I tried time and time again at first. Even after a failure, I approached them again. Even when I failed, I did not despair. I was hopeful that something would change, that the situation could improve, that there might be a way. Sadly, after numerous repeats, my innocent mind had already worn out and gone cold. We couldn't build any kind of relationship in the first place. Instead, I piled up a towering edifice of books for me to read, random assortments of letters, incoherent and unintelligible messes of volumes. I scrounged through them, trying to find any meaning. Ceaselessly, I read and read and read, without a moment's of respite. I thought at least one of them would give me the answer, the path I should take, the way to be free. But possibilities were only possibilities, because if anyone's by my side, tell me where I should go. I want to begin anew, to start again, along with the things that were abandoned just like me. I don't want to be alone, please. Was it really vengeance that I wished for? I only wanted to be rewarded for everything I went through. Can I be forgiven for rendering everything null just so I can survive alone? Will there be anyone left by my side at the end of it? The weight of my choice. I don't know anymore, I just want to forget it all. I pondered and pondered. The conclusion was always the same. I'll have to push through the resolution I made at first. As Carmen taught me, she whispered to me that the answer is written in the book, that it will teach me everything I want to know. All contained in the one perfect book, stitched and bound just for me. I have no choice but to believe in it, the words of the only one who remained by my side. I'm afraid. Oh shit. I recognize that immediately. I knew it. I fucking knew it. It's gonna be White Knight. I'm afraid. If I embrace all of my past and lift it off my chest, what will be left of me? All JRPGs end with fighting God. I mean, I don't know, like White Knight is very, very clearly what is it? An allegory for Jesus Christ. They did the same thing. This is a good Abno outfit, though. Up until now, my entire existence was based on my past sufferings. The long-cherished yearning for revenge was what led me here. But if I were to accept everything I went through as history, then what would I be? Maybe I'll end up being reduced to nothing. The things I want to know and the reason I want to keep living is all about vengeance. I'm scared I might lose the meaning of my life. That's why I'm too afraid to accept the past. You must accept the death of the past and reinvigorate yourself as you head towards the future, so that you can live on. No matter what conflicts, agonies, and regrets you may face in that process, you have to go onward while facing the future and be born again. Or one sin is the true God, and White Knight is Saklas. I had been chained to the past for too long until this knowledge came to me. You may find yourself confused at the moment, but you will understand soon enough. Pog. I love that. I love that the prophet's over here on my side. That's fantastic. Chinese games have you fighting concepts. Here's the Tao. Saklas. It's spelled S-A-K-L-A-S. It's from the Gospel of Judas, the Gnostic text. Non-canonical, obviously, but yeah. It's the concept that the God of the Torah is not the actual God. It's that it's like a accident of the one true God, and that it created life in its own image, and it's got a whole separate lore. Non-canonical texts of the Bible are really interesting. You should check them out. I have to pee, but I will be back. This is maybe this would be controversial, but basically the entire Bible is fanfic. The New Testament, I mean. The Old Testament is like a block of solid text, but basically every book of the New Testament is fanfic that was canonized by the Catholic Church. It's very, very, very interesting biblical history. I'm gonna pee though. Nah, that bush wasn't talking. It was Ricky hiding behind the boulder. He was just playing a prank. He didn't think it would go that far. I agreed. I love that pun. That's so good. Is this going to be on the Testament? Oh my god. Cain gets hated. I mean, I think I'm pretty sure that conceptually Cain knew what he was going to do was going to kill his brother. I think he went in it with a murderous intent as far as the word goes. Okay. Let's do a quick little breakdown here and find out what's going on. Nope, he went in it with intent. It became murderous after. True. I concede. I'm not willing to argue the point. Alright. Undying. HP does not fall below 1. It will follow the... I will follow thee. Offensive dice gain +2 power against librarians afflicted with revelation. Sai the Apostle prioritizes targeting the librarian with the lowest HP. Okay. And do they all have the exact same thing? Prophet, untargetable. HP and stagger resist do not fall below 1. Prevents burn, bleed, or erosion. Place your trust in me. At the start of the scene, uses the combat page Baptism for the number of dead apostles. So, Angela is the traitor, I think. Isn't that's the traitor's outfit? I mean, she's wearing a White Knight's outfit before White Knight became White Knight. She's wearing the Plague Doctor's outfit. I'm just wondering where she falls in on this. Your honor laws literally don't exist, so it's not murder. I think Christianity has like some good points in it, but when we get into the logistics of buying and selling slaves, the fact that slavery was never condemned throughout the entirety of the Christian text. What is it? Jesus Christ said, like, not a jot or a tittle of the law will change until my Father's return. I come not to change the law, but to enforce it. Like, I don't know. There's some whack ass shit in there. I do think that you could essentially live a more I don't know, how should I say, how should I put this? I do think that secular humanism has more utility and is standing on significantly more solid moral foundation than Christianity is. If you're a biblical Christian, I mean, but the problem, I think one of the biggest issues with Christianity in general, and forgive my tangent for a second, but I do still actually study Christianity because it's interesting. There's over 40,000 different denominations. 40,000 different denominations, all with their own sets of rules, fan fiction, little tidbits of history and interpretations on specific sects or specific sections of the Bible. So it's one of the biggest problems that I have with it is the lack of consistency, and the Catholic Church, for example, prioritizes works, charity, and good deeds, and these things are good, and these things are things that you should, strive to do in your own life. It's just when we get down to like the selfish, self-serving kind of, it's all about my personal relationship. It's all about me connecting with God and once saved, always saved. True salvation, one thing that I get kind of hung up on. It's what Gandhi says, like, I quite like your Christ more than your Christians, or something to that effect. But the concept of Jesus is good. It's generally speaking good. Christianity original canon is pretty solid. Post-release fanfic sucks. I don't know, Keldy. I'm gonna say, like, there's quite a bit of bad shit in the New Testament as well. I mean, I'm gonna go back to the slave manual. Like, I refuse to follow any instruction followed or following instructions on how to buy and sell slaves. You have different rules for slaves from people who are not of your ethnic group versus slaves who are part of your ethnic group, and all of the logistics therein. That is not cool. So hot take. Exactly. Yeah, but as I said, Keldy, not a jot, or as Jesus said, not a jot or a tittle of the law will change until my Father's return. I come not to change the law, but to enforce the law. That's like that he's talking in direct reference to the Old Testament, which slavery is in there. And a lot of that, whenever it comes to slavery, there's no changing of those rules in the New Testament. Like, you look it up. All right, let's take one more peek at. We're gonna move on. No one reads. Nobody actually reads the Bible. Yeah, I mean, I genuinely have read the Bible, and just like with any game that I've 100%ed, a year or more ago, almost all of the information that I retained is gone. I have systematically deleted it, and I'm gonna stay on this tangent for a second, not religion related, but neuroscience related, which I thought was really fun and interesting. As I saw a tidbit the other day that was explaining why we don't remember anything from whenever we're kids, right? So like when we're children, when we're small children, and it depends on what culture you come from apparently, but when you're small children, you don't actually get a sense of self until a certain age, between 2 to 4, and that's when you start creating memories that, generally speaking, last into adulthood. That's like that. I have some very stark memories of playing with Tim Burton's Batman with Michael Keaton action figures and toys from my 5th birthday. And I remember that very stark. I can remember the year that the PlayStation 2 came out and the PlayStation 1 came out. I remember getting and opening my Super Nintendo. There's very specific memories that I have from that time. And they say one of the reasons why it's very difficult for you to maintain memories before that point is because your brain is essentially developing too fast. That while you're forming neural pathways and while you're creating these memories inside of your neural network in your brain is developing and creating new network nodes. And every time you create a new node, you have to pop other nodes that were set up. So essentially you're going through and deleting your own memories because your brain is expanding so quickly. And one thing that I thought is like, I'm wondering if we're still able to develop our brains in such a way where we are taking in new content and new information and new things to an extent where we delete certain portions of memory inadvertently because we're essentially we're expanding the space and needing to break apart neural pathways. That last bit right there is just a part I thought was like, huh, I wonder if that's how this works, or this is only something that happens in childhood whenever you're having a neural network node explosion. But anyway, I did find that interesting. Do you think God will let anyone into heaven if they 100% the Bible? Which Bible? Which holy text? Because, you know, a lot of them are mutually exclusive. You can't, you know, do I have to 100% all of the Bibles? Because, like, it's one of those things where if you get all of the achievements from one Bible and then you move on to the other one, then by moving on to the other one, you have to pledge allegiance to a new God, and therefore you void out the achievements from your previous Bible run. I wonder if I wonder what the world best is for completion of the Bible. That would be inquiring minds want to know. Let's find out. All right, I'm stalling. I'm straight up. I'm stalling. If you were here for the LobCorp run-throughs, you know I fucking hate this boss. I really hate this boss. Okay, so I think we're going to try to boost with Simeon. We're gonna have Simeon get some damage boosts. If you 100% all Abrahamic religions, you get to meet Yahweh personally. And then he gives you his blessing, I guess. Doesn't Tony Toblerone get a 100% world record from Guinness for everything? Yeah, apparently if you pay enough money, Guinness will just do the thing. Absolve you of all your sins, 99 pale damage. I just instantly cook your soul. It's Jover. Mr. Pope, who's the #1 on the Bible ladder? I read an unwholesome amount of the actual Bible because I was hyper reader with ADHD, forced to sit in a pew for an hour a week. That's pretty pog. Whoever makes it, so it's like Highlander rules. All right, I gotta lock in here. All right, so I'm thinking a cheeky little BG, because I think a BG would be able to negate at least one of these cards, and it's going to buff us for next turn. The thing I'm iffy on is there's only one thing that I see BG can pretty assuredly beat. And then I guess I'll brace up because I wanna get more card draw. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. All right, Fervid Emotions. One hit, inflict 2 bleed next scene. What about doing a cheeky little Biang over here? We do have that that perk that we'll end up getting later. We don't have it just yet, but we will have that perk eventually that will give us that bonus to our chance to, or not chance, well, chance to and damage done by deflections. So that's something we can look forward to. I don't know. From the end of the world proceeds to the next phase after 12 apostles have been defeated. But these apostles, they don't... I love this empty one down here that's just a dash. Does not fall below 1 HP. I don't know how this works. I'm just gonna have to beat on him. I just snuck in my Game Boy Pocket and played Pokemon during church. If the result of your youth was that you came out the way that you did, Keldy, I can't call it misspent. Why is every card cheeky? Do we have a sticky page somewhere? Listen, I like cheeky little something. 1 HP equals kill. That's not what that means, though. That's not what the word kill means. Alright, so we've got concentration and we've got energy conversion. And what's coming at us here in the front? Inflict 4 fragile next scene. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. We could duel. We could Yu-Gi-Oh this bitch. And then graze up on his grass. I'm trying to intercept as many attacks as possible to keep myself from taking too much damage. But I'm also thinking, like, I need to be diverting attacks, don't I? Like, it's not going to be enough to intercept some attacks. I'm gonna play my draw here and see if I can get something that's gonna give me an option. Nope, no options. Get wrecked, bozo. Doesn't Angela kill them for being non-believers at 1 HP? That makes sense. But I could have played Pokemon. You can play Pokemon right now. Three, 6. 3, 6, 9. Damn girl, fine. Give it to me one more time. Get low. Get low, get low, get low, get low, get low. To the window. To the wall. Etc. All right, we're gonna take some damage. Oof. I'm gonna need to pay closer attention to their resistances because I am noticing the fatal damage coming out. Hakma approved discussion in chat. Well, it is the floor of religion. I do think it's pretty fair. You heard me, Fatal. Okay, so I guess my target is going to be the one up here that's marked. So yeah, slash, slash, slash. Oh, they're literally all slash. Okay. It's good to know, I guess. All right. Let's see. I think a Fervid Emotions is a solid play. And then a Multi-Slash. We've got a bonus of 3 to a strengthened. I think an Augury Kick is going to give us 3 strength again next turn. And that one will, I think, definitely take out if he's got one of these 2s. Yeah. We're doing blunt damage, which is not really ideal right now, but we can follow it up with a... Fuck, no, I can only choose the guys up top. So yeah, Will of the City's got Slash, so that's actually going to be able to trigger. But I don't have anything I can play that one on, so I have to move this around. Alright, and then we can get Absorb Impact. Disposal will never be able to get its... it's one of the downfalls of this little bit right here. Is Disposal will never get its buff. I'll never be able to use it. Or I will never be able to get it back, rather. 6-10, inflict 4 fragile next scene. We're already fragile. Maybe I need to play Absorb Impact over here. And then I can do Graze the Grass up here. Seven fragile over here, girl. Holy shit. We're switching to Slashing Stance immediately. That's gotta happen. Blind Faith. Solid play. Acupuncture. I don't think I don't have anybody except for Hakma that can intercept this other attack by Will Be Done. So that sucks. Hakma's probably going to take some damage from that. But it's better to clash with something that only is going to do like 1 attack. Or it's better to clash against this one because it's doing 3 attacks than to take all 3 of those hits in a row. That would suck. Alright, and then we're going to focus on stuff that's going to do the most slashing damage here. So we'll do up here on this guy, Multi-Slash, and an Unlock. Purple Tears, time to shine. Every single fight is Purple Tears, time to shine, straight up. Although I will say, like, while there is, of course, there's positives and there's negatives to this. Like, I get Unlock 3 because they don't go below 1. I do get to make sure that my shit plays out. Definitely not using time. I think I've decided I don't like that. Deal and take twice as much stagger damage on a deflect. That was so fast. I didn't get to read shit. Okay, and they are all still hyper-focused on Hakma, so I need to pull off as many people as I can from Hakma. We've got a 4, 5, 6, so that's going to be 12 bonus damage from this, which I'm pretty sure will just, like... I think that'll just stagger this guy, like, instantly. I think he's just... Yeah, this guy's just going to get instant staggered. And then we can use Will of the City. Concentration? She's OP. That's true. guess we could do a graze the grass. I know it's kind of unnecessary. We could get this out of our deck right there. 3/3/3. I want to get, I decided to put Esther on Holly because, oh shit, we're getting attacked? Recover HP and stagger resist of target by 10. Give 1 strength, endurance, and haste to target next scene. Oh, I'm getting baptized. Oh no, she's gonna bless us. That's the worst. We don't want blessings. Holy shit. If you don't graze the grass regularly, Homer's Association, aka the claws, will kill you. That's true. That's I've read that before. We've got a 6/10. I need somebody else to intercept this. So we'll have you graze this grass down here. And let's see. Can have this person intercept. It's a 6/10. We could Biong. I'm trying to make sure that I don't get hit with an attack that I can't block. That's basically what I'm focused on right now. True trigram formation, and we'll slap in with a multi-slash as well. Now, rather than a multi-slash, I think we're going to do a graze the grass. I'm trying to get my emotion level higher as quickly as possible, and I think that any extra attacks going into a graze the grass is probably the way. Gun 'em down, boys. The true trigram formation implies the existence of a false trigram formation. I wouldn't be surprised. That's another one down. Two of them down? Yeah, I think that one's got 4, and with its 6 burn, we can just ignore it. So this turn is a give me. Castigate this bozo. And let's see. I don't like this right now, the situation I'm in. How did this happen? I guess I haven't gotten leap. That's what's happened. So I haven't gotten any leap. That's not great. I could just to make sure that I get it, I'm gonna use energy conversion on the top one. I don't need to, because it's gonna die anyway, but we could graze the grass and multi-slash. I'll save sharpened blade. This is, of course, implying that I actually am able to get that after castigation goes off. Who knows? All right, what's she doing now? She's gonna recover HP and stagger resist again, and give 1 strength and endurance and haste again. Okay. She really likes Simeon right now. I'm inclined to do an observe up top. And then if I'm going to do that, I might as well do a multi-slash as well. Because that's going to give me power or strength or whatever next turn. God damn, girl. It's too much damage. Alright, so that's all of both of them dead. I'm expecting to get another 4. Yeah, and then these ones will be, yeah, so we've got 2 slashing and 2 pierces, I guess. Yeah, so these 2 right here are vulnerable to slashing damage, and the other 2 are vulnerable to pierce damage. Anybody who's afflicted with Revelation? Who's got Revelation on them? I don't see any of that. Prioritizes targets with status ailments. That's fun. Damage is increased by the target's bleed. Yikes. +2 power if the target has a status ailment. Okay. Well, Fervent Emotions is kind of an easy get out of this attack free card. And then we can Will of the City to just match that 1-to-1 for its stats. But that's on piercing. I don't want to use those on the guy who's doing piercing. I'd much rather target somebody who's going to be doing slashing. We do have Will of the Prescript as an option, and Genie also exists. Maybe we could do Will of the Prescript on this guy in the back. And then with this one, do we have any other piercing attacks? No, I don't think so. So I could do multi-slash. BG. I can pull in an attack from over here. We've got a +6 to strengthened over here, so whatever we play with this character is gonna just cook. We'll use Will of the... Wait, not Will of the Prescript needs to be played on one of the guys in the back. Piercing guys. Offensive dice gain power by the target's bleed. So I could use Brace Up on this attack over here, because it's a 1-to-1, and with our +6, we're looking at a 9. So our minimum roll beats out his maximum roll. And then we can play a Will of the Prescript back here on one of these two. I think I'm going to go with this one over here. Alright. Got a couple options with Hakma, but I'm gonna focus a little bit more on the other characters. Castigation, I think, is a good play back here in the corner, because piercing damage, these guys do not like pierce damage. And we've got a +5 over here, so Castigation's gonna hurt really bad. Now, I think I need to play a multi-slash so that I can maintain my numbers, and I think this is fine. We've got enough bonus to our strength over here, especially on Holly, like that she's going to be able to probably win all of these clashes. Snake Slit should win, especially if we use a Sharpened Blade as our other attack. And then that means Hakma only needs to deflect 1 attack. Can we make it another? Can we do another? Can we have the another attack be the one that he deflects? Is the question. I don't think so. What about this one? Yeah, we could have Hakma deflect this one. Could use the leap over here, and then we'll have you deflect this one. We could use a Will of the Prescript instead. That's slashing though. Maybe Emotional Turbulence? Yeah, Emotional Turbulence. And then I can have Hakma use an energy conversion. You can defeat religion. Have a nice night, some guy. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chatting. I appreciate your cheering me on. Will of the Prescript. Holy shit, that slaps so hard. One of them is already dead. I think 2 staggered and 1 dead. We'll do a nostalgic sound. Yeah, 2 staggered, 1 dead, and 1... Man, nostalgic sound just deleted the music. No! Battle for the one true god, Lucifer or a fortune cookie printer. I want the music. That's actually... I don't want to use this skill anymore. That's really irritating. Can hear the sound of the star. And then nostalgic sound 2. The effect of the abnormality page on nostalgic sound detonated by status effect. I can hear the sound of the star will activate into... scenes? Okay, so let me see here. I guess emotional. Wait, let's look at our bonuses. All right, we've got +5 over here. I think I want to use my bonuses first, the attacks that are going to get the biggest boost first. So that makes this a 7-9 and a 6-10. Yeah, so we're just like literally observe is like a dog shit card from a million years ago, but because of the boosts that we get from all of the other cards that we use, it turns it into a Giga Chad, Giga Strong card. Just because. And then we'll use Multi-Slash and Graze the Grass. And then next turn we'll have another, I think it'll be +4 minimum, depending on the buff that we get from Angela, it'll be higher. Observe is a dog shit card, Monk Omega. I mean to say that the dice rolls, and you're correct. I'm wrong. I should not have said that it is a dog shit card. I mean that its rolls are relatively speaking, its rolls are dog shit. Like its rolls are not good. Like the dice numbers are not good. But in a deck like this, it gets there. It's insane. It's in full on Insano style. All right. I'm just trying to consider what I should use if I'm trying to boost up my, I'm trying to boost up for next turn, essentially. And I'll use an energy conversion that'll give me my stuff back and give me a draw. And then Graze the Grass for that. I need to use Unlock, I need to use Multi-Slash, and I think if I could, I'd use Will of the Prescript, but I can use High Kick to draw a page as well. And then we'll use that Graze the Grass. We have, like, no cards over here, so I guess Serpent Sword Technique. And then we can use a Graze the Grass. We're still trying to get our emotion level up, so there's literally no downside to using it. Observe is a dogshit card. Boundary of Death is the best game in the card because it has the best die roll. That's true. Many such cases. I mean, Boundary of Death has like the best upper end of damage for a dive, but it on the lower end it either does 1 damage. Sorry, I'm sorry. With the correct modifications, it either does 3 damage or 50 something damage. Thanks for subscribing. Oh, an anonymous gifter gift subscribed. Congratulations. You've won. Delightful. Also, I love you see Angela's getting all her wings. All right, and then these guys take bonus damage to blunt. And we've got a +7 over here. So Will of the Prescript is obviously that's our role for these ones. And then Augury Kick, I think, in the back is a solid play. Will of the City, I think, is a decent one to play as well. And then we can also do a brace up for bonus damage. Now, we're going to have, like, no light next turn with this character. None whatsoever. But we do still have, I think, the card that we can play, the Trigram card, that is going to give us light. All right, next in the order is we've got a +6 on Hakma. That's pretty good. I think we'll absorb this hit first. And then we've got slashing and we've got some piercing. I don't necessarily love that. We'll allocate the piercing damage. This slashing damage is kind of a throwaway here. We can intercept. I got an idea. So what we'll do is we'll intercept absorb impact with this dice, and then we'll use Graze the Grass to absorb this one. Okay, and so far we're kind of like sucking in all the damage right now. Then, man, this is not, it's not an option. I think I need to swap. We're gonna do Blunting Stance. Multi-slash was a good pull. I need more card draw with her. It just like these long drawn out fights, you really do feel it. Steel Knuckles. That's a nice one. What do we have for bonus? We've got +2. So Steel Knuckles is going to be doing 6 to 10 and 5 to 9. I like my odds. And we can castigate this other one. Reduce the power of all opponents' dice clashing against this by 12. So, never mind. Because it's not all the dice. We'll use Emotional Turbulence, because that's got a higher chance of succeeding. And then we can follow that up with an Unlock 3, and Graze the Grass for the extra emotional points. Fervid Emotions is going to give us some Blunt. We like Blunt, don't we? And then we've got Puppet Blockade, that's also Blunt we can use. Graze the Grass can do some piercing damage. And I think we're set there. We are clashing with everything at that point, so... I'm clashing quite well. Oh, they're doing ranged. You love to see it. God damn. Get it, Hakma. That's one down. Two down. Okay, Martyr, Penance, or Silence. Deal 4 to 6 bonus stagger damage with attacks, but take 1 to 3 damage after a successful attack. This page also included in the deck at the start of the subsequent acts. If any character is staggered at the start of the scene, they take 3 to 7 damage, and all allies gain 1 strength for the scene. We'll take Silence. I don't think I'm going to use this, but we will take it. Only 2 more disciples. Oh, sorry, 1 more disciple. My bad. The sound just went off. I need to get through this turn so I can get my music back. I shall devote unto thee. Gain +3 power if target has a status ailment. Okay. So we've still got +7 over here on Simeon. Can use Augury Kick. Should blast through that pretty easily. But Augury Kick is going to be blunt damage. We want to do Pierce if possible. So we're going to use True Trigram Formation, Graze the Grass, and BG for a bonus next turn. And then I don't want to go like overboard on this guy. I want to use Will of the Prescript and Will of the City, because that's going to give me the most shit back. And then Leap to get cards drawn. And Multi-Slash and Unlock are free, so we're going to use those. And then, oh my god, we need Will of the City. Okay, and I'm pretty sure that's it. Now we just have to determine who's going to take this hit, and we already did. There we go. It is an awful sound. I hate it. That was enough right there. That was literally all that we had to do. Every other attack is we're just ghoulish overkill to draw cards and get light and gain emotion. I think this is the easy part of the fight. I'm pretty sure this is the easy part of the fight. I'm guessing. So, let's read. The time has come. Uses the combat page Rise and Serve Me on the first scene, starting with the third scene. Uses the combat page I Am Thy Savior every 3 scenes. Rise, my servants, rise and serve me. Summons 2 guardian apostles on the second scene. It has 666 HP and 666 stagger. Paradise Lost. It has endured to all status effects. Becomes indefinitely staggered if HP falls to 2 or lower, can only recover from stagger when Paradise Lost uses a combat page that resurrects the apostle. Okay. So the thing I'm worried about is we have Paradise Lost down here, which is the manifest ego of the sperm baby of White Knight. And White Knight is up here. White Knight in the original game fucked with time. You couldn't pause. So I'm a little nervous here that it's going to do the same thing. And if that's the case, I need to make sure that I am on point. So before I unpause, or before I get out of this, I need to be ready to go. And we've got a spear and a staff. So blunt damage up here and spear damage down here. Observe up top. And Augury Kick. Seven. Rise and serve me, rise and serve me. Let's see. I'm not noticing anything that I was afraid of triggering so far. It's so quiet and so peaceful. I'm so nervous. 710. I'm so nervous. I think I went a little bit too hard on the one. Just a little bit too hard on the minions. Jesus Christ. Okay. Guardian Apostles. Guardian, at the start of the scene, give 5 protection and stagger protection to Paradise Lost. If the character is suspended, Angela's resistance will change to fatal next scene. The character will not give her protection or stagger protection until it recovers from the suspended state. Prioritizes targeting librarians that attacked Paradise Lost in the previous scene. Has the same resistances as the key page of a certain librarian. And where the fuck is... Oh, shit. Zhao. They took Zhao. Price of Silence trauma. So wait, did they took 2 of my characters. He ate my librarians like he ate your employees. Yeah, so he ate them and turned them into the Guardians. So now it's these 3 versus them. Reverence. At the end of the scene, take 4 stagger damage and lose 1 stack of the status. Okay. Shit. Okay. So we're gonna have to do some shit here. So we've got plus 10. So that's 13 to 17. Definitely beat that out. And then 11 to 14. That's, yeah, we'll beat that out even with like the gimmies, the freebies. Let me see these other 2. 3, 8. Give 3 endurance to Paradise Lost next scene. So we have Graze the Grass. And Brace Up. Let's see what Hawkma has available. Concentration is fine and all, but yeah, I'm gonna have to use, I guess, Concentration, Graze the Grass, and then Energy Conversion. I don't have any draw. I need draw. And we don't have enough to be able to pull in that attack. Our resistances here are heavy damage to blunt. And we can take, okay, piercing and slash up top. Piercing and blunt down bottom. I guess any kind of damage would work down bottom, but... And we've got plus 6 over here as well. High kick will give us a page. I need light. I am in so much pain for light right now. Energy conversion, Graze the Grass. So we'll have light next turn with Hawkma. I can use this. Oh my god, I've got nothing to throw at. I've got nothing to throw at her, but I need to not throw anything at her until I have eliminated both of these guys. So blunt would be down bottom. Yeah, I don't want to block. I'm just gonna eat that, I think, and we'll attack down here with our blunt. I'm nervous. So we've got one stagger off. Ugh, I hate that sound. Okay. So, how's our bonus looking? We've got 2 up here. Yeah, our bonuses to damage are still looking pretty good. We're taking AoE damage here. Mass individual, 7/7. Okay, so I need to make sure that we have a 7 and a 7 blocking. So BG is slashing damage. That'll work. We can also follow that up with an observe to make sure that next turn we've got absolutely fuck off maximum amount of juice coming in. All right, now we need 7/7. Absorb impact for sure. And then concentration. Oh, graze the grass. We're gonna graze this bozo's grass. And then we've got, what are we still on blunt, aren't we? Yeah, so we've got 2, 3, 4 with blunt. So 4, 9 becomes at 8, 13. That blocks the 7/7 for the second one, but not the first one. The first one is going to be up to a dice roll. And that. Will of the City, and I think we do a Will of the Prescript as well. This is going to give us maximum card draw. Okie dokie. Here we go. Let's see, do we have any... We can restore 1 light. That'll give us a multi-slash. Okay, blocked the first one. Blocked the second one. Just barely in the back, too. Goddamn. Rip peaceful music. I'm ready for some more peaceful music. It's coming out soon. Alright, so right now, Angela is all resistances changed to fatal. We've got a +9 strengthened over here, and I think we've got enough light to play. So... let's see, true trigram formation. We're gonna play... this, so it'll give us 1 endurance. Let's see, augury kick. I'd love to augury kick, but I do not have the juice for it. We can BG, so we'll BG. We'll graze the grass. We'll brace. And then let's see. We do have this guy up here who's blunt. Can we handle him with something? Can we just like disregard him basically? Can I just like use 2 abilities and disregard him? Concentration. Wait, no. We can use disposal on Angela this turn. Let's dispose this bitch. Gun her down, boys. Okay, and I think that's a 4/8/4/8. Deal 2 stagger damage to the target. We'll get the disposal off before that triggers, though. So here's hoping. Deal 2 bonus stagger damage on blunt hits for the scene. High kick. We're going big. Forgot those were ranged hits. God, so close. She's not fatal. No more fatal damage, unfortunately. And we got staggered over here on you, boy. That's not good. You heard me, girl. Fatal damage. You know the deal. Alright, so we can... Shit. I'm spooked, y'all. I'm spooked. Alright, so... I have to take out this staff apostle because we might get another apostle raised next turn. So we've got to get rid of the staff apostle. We can do energy conversion. We can absorb impact, and we can use Abrase the Grass. Okay, cool. We got the stagger off. Alright, we're getting the AoE attack again. So, that should cover that. God, I need light. Restore 1 light on play. Multi-slash. Now, we do have light over here, though. That's good. Repressed flesh. We'll multi-slash towards the ass end. Will of the City, and then Great Serpent's Impact. She's got to be close to stagger. She's got to be getting close. Absorb Impact, Leap, Raise the Grass. Hakma is almost cooked. I see that. Hakma is almost cooked. It's not looking good for our dear friend Hakma. Oh shit. Blocked the second hit. We took 1 up top. She's so close. close. Yes, we got the stagger off. Okay. We can Will of the Prescript this guy. We've got a +6. So hitting with everything that we can is where it's at this turn. See if I can draw. Maybe I'll get lucky and draw multi-slash. Nope, augury kick. We'll use a nice cheeky little Graze the Grass to absorb that attack. We've got a +3 on Hakma's Strengthened, so that gives us a 4-7 block for the first attack, and the second attack is going to come in at a 6-7. Yep. Maybe I don't do that. Maybe instead of doing that, I just use everything that I can as quickly as I can on the boss and just ignore this guy. I've got a little Graze the Grass I can use maybe to pull this attack in with her. But I think we've got it. That's a kind of a ghoulish overkill there. Nailed it. I believe. I do believe. Can't help but notice we've got a new little friend over here. So, basically, I'm going to take 66 damage. Stagger all librarians. All librarians, other than the patron, die at the end of the scene. Okay, well, Hakma's staggered as well, but he has 100 protection. Because we've got one sin behind us, I suppose? Behold my power. We're being protected by one sin. Penitence. This page deals a fixed amount of damage. Good card. It's one might even say it's the best card we've seen up until this point because it deals 666 damage. And this is one of the fun things. Like, we're doing 666 damage. The boss has 666 health. They're the allegory for like the god figure being the villain of the story, and the apostle that killed the god figure not being the villain. I think that's fun. It's fun to play with. Not as good as Boundary of Death, but decent. It's halfway decent, one might even say. I resent you, Benjamin. I understand, yet I do not. It is unlikely for one's thoughts and interests to perfectly coincide with another's. That may be the reason my mentor, I, and the rest of us ultimately failed. I was the one who ruined your plan. Why are you being so compliant with me now? Could it be that our faiths and translations did overlap for once? Did the Seraphat may be helping you despite regaining their memories? Perhaps because of that. What are you lot taking pity on me? One could call it that. To elaborate on this matter in my own words, I believe each of us is understanding you for different reasons. It helped that we could feel a glimpse of your pain when we were in the light. Don't make me laugh. So it's just pity wrapped in fancy words? Angela, I am of the belief that sympathy and love are no different from each other. At the end of the day, sympathy motivates one to understand the circumstances of others and reach out to them to make their lives better. Hawkman's cooking now. How can I not acknowledge it as a form of love? You could call love pity, and you could call pity love at the same time. And besides, don't you have sympathy for yourself, Angela? You sought, at the end of your endeavor, to give freedom to all of us who are chained in this cycle. As much as I still envy and hate you to death, we do share a history of being subject to manipulation. Think of it as a small side benefit I happened to be able to grant. You still are awfully dishonest. Anyway, thank you. We did it! Confession. Fully recover stagger resist and purge all status ailments. Also applies to staggered librarians. For the duration of the reception. Take 2 less stagger damage from attacks. Add baptism page to hand. 1 play, return to hand. Target recovers 6 HP, gains 1 endurance this scene. Once per scene. This page is also included in the deck at the start of subsequent acts. For the duration of the reception, restore 1 additional light at the start of the scene. If the selected librarian also has the abnormality page baptism, its effect is enhanced. Target recovers 12 HP and gains 2 endurance this scene. Huzzah! As long as there are other allies whom can be targeted, the selected librarian will not be targeted for attacks. If this character is alive at the end of the reception, resolve an additional book for every guest defeated. That's cool. While this character is alive, all other allies gain 2 protection each scene. If this character has used White Knight's ego page, allies can absorb instances of 3 or less damage. While this character is alive, all other allies deal +2 to 7 damage with attacks. If the character has used baptism 12 or more times this reception, allies also gain +1 power. That's really cool. So this allows you to take a single person. You said none of his cards are useful. I'm assuming you're not talking about these, because some of these are actually pretty good. Literally at the end of the game. Now I can finally farm books. Synchronize with White Knight for 3 scenes. All other allies transform to apostles while the synchronization is active. The apostles cannot be controlled or defeated. If an apostle falls to 1 HP, they cannot act until the synchronization is disengaged. The apostles transform back into the librarians once it's disengaged. That's really cool. Mass individual on use. All allies recover 15 HP and stagger resist. If user's stagger resist is above 50%, deal 10 damage and stagger damage. Destroy opponent's next die. Gain a speed die for the next scene. Heaven. Seal a speed die of target's next scene. I will probably never get to use those pages. That's very true. Probably never. Also, all of it's not lost to me that all of White Knight's ego pages are positive Enechophalin, positive ego pages. So that's another thing I'd have to consider. Sorry, but coffee is still the king of all drinks. It is quite a shame to know that such a pitiable hill you chose to die on. Perhaps your tongue has been paralyzed by the overbearingly thick, strong flavor and scent. I'm not sure if I'm in a library or a cafe. Oh, it's Angela. What are you doing here? I was just meandering around using a bit of free time I have. What about you lot then? Are you engaging in a book discussion or whatever? While that activity piques my interest as well, at the moment, we are having a friendly chat between patron librarians. We are kind of dragged here by her assistants, though. It is regrettable that you put it that way. The assistant librarians? They sometimes visit my floor for a cup of coffee. Not many other floors make it a habit to enjoy fine beverages. I was having some coffee with Hod and Jebra, then they suddenly brought us here, saying they'd like to return the favor. Isn't that a surprise? Should have realized they were hers from the color of their attire. Sounds like you're on friendly terms with assistant librarians. They're our co-workers, no need to be cold with them. That's right, by the way, Angela, do you have a minute? Maybe, why do you ask? I was wondering if you could stick around for a cup of tea. Since you're here, why don't you help yourself? No. Coffee, though. I only brought mine. No coffee, though. We don't get to talk with you like this often. Fine, I'll accept your offer. The other assistant librarians are having tea as well. Do not be too harsh on them. Refreshments such as these are a necessity from time to time. They're all busy workers racing to get their jobs done. Well, even though we're here together, that doesn't mean we're all that comfortable with each other. Still, I think it's amazing that we can gather around and face each other in the first place. It's unfortunate that I can't taste or smell the tea you troubled to prepare for me. Soaking up this atmosphere is nice enough, I think. Though, as great as it'd be to be able to enjoy it together next time. Anyway, thank you for the conversation. I'll be going now. Come over to my floor sometime. Roland is an occasional visitor, so feel free to bring him with you if you don't feel like coming on your own. I'll consider it if I get any free time later. Will Angela make another visit? My hunch leads towards yes. Here's the books you asked for. Hey, Tippy. Hey, Roland. What brought you two here? Nothing big. These books seemed a bit too heavy for her to carry on her own, though. I'm already bringing a whole lot of books here myself. What more does this old man want? That's not exactly the most appropriate thing to say in front of a person to whom you're referring, is it, sir? And since when did you start addressing me so politely? I simply desire to read many books. I would rather not spend my time in complete idleness. Let's see, what books did our resident geriatric want to read so much that he'd asked Tippereth to pick them up? Continuity of Life. Bioengineering Technologies. Boy, this is straight out of a biology shelf. He'd gone through chemistry the other day. I wouldn't have made you go through the trouble had I known that you would bring this many books. I owe much gratitude to you for your continued assistance, young miss. I did think about asking for help, but Roland came over and lent his hand, so I chose not to. I didn't really expect you to ask for stuff like this, Mr. Hakma. I thought you would know all this already. I'm reading them multiple times so that the knowledge won't be lost from my memory. One read is never enough, especially when you're a learner. I see what you mean. The same sentence can give off different impressions every time you read it. Mm-hmm. Cultured people talking cultured things I don't get. Anywho, what were you guys doing here? I identify with Roland in this case. Little more than insignificant chatter, which is related to the work we do in this place. That's what we were up to. As you indulge in work, you pile up all kinds of feelings. Does that mean you were mourning? Or does that mean you were mouthing off about your boss? Listen, Angela may pretend not to, but she sees everything going on in the library. Even now, she might be overhearing this very conversation, and then she show up like she saw nothing and... Aren't you the one talking about your boss behind her back? We were mostly chatting about receiving guests, Oh, right. Yasad complained about Angela, too. Malkuth, don't say anything that could cause confusion. My complaint was simply about the stacks of book remaining in the corridors, which are making a disordered sight. I mean, you're basically saying that you don't like how untidy the library is, right? The responsibility for that lies on all of us. I wasn't targeting Angela in particular. Still, great efforts are being exerted to constantly receive a variety of guests, and that is worthy of praise in itself. That extends to you folk as well. Well, I've gotten pretty used to it by now, so it's no biggie really. You seem rather quiet here. What more needs to be said? My role is only to observe. To observe, is it? Indeed so. Some would think that this is merely a form of neglect. I see that you are one of them. I was simply curious. We haven't had many opportunities to talk with one another. There were practically none, were there? Neither you nor I left our respective posts. Yet, now you have the time to visit me, of all people, for a chat. It must indicate that we are freer than before, able to spare more of our moments. Do you not welcome this change? I'm not quite certain of my sentiments. Regardless, I have a warm cup of tea, now that you're here. If you'd be so kind. Two incomprehensible people speaking. Say, have you never tried other types of tea? It appears as though black is all you drink. Maybe so. There are enough variants of black tea that I have not bothered in attempting to imbibe other beverages. Although the azure-manned noble boy insists around the clock that I partake of coffee. It is certainly true that there has been much change. I wouldn't have expected that he would approach you first to recommend coffee. One day, perchance, all of us will come together. Indeed. It will be quite different from the first time such a gathering took place. I must wonder if the day shall come when we all will engage in casual conversation and share trivial tales. I'm rather doubtful of it. Yet deep down, you're looking forward to it. Perhaps everyone shares the same feelings. I finished my cup, so I'll be taking my leave now. I appreciate the hospitality. Rendezvous anytime. Tea will always be ready and waiting. View all small stories. So I'm looking, I can't help but look over here and see that the Keter floor still is question mark, question mark, question mark. The Nepo baby, schizo communication. We did it, we beat the game. I don't think so. Obviously we still have to do the Imperatus Civitatis and start the Reverberation Ensemble. We are level 59 out of 60. I'm just wondering, what am I missing? Like what actually am I missing? You say Civitato and I say Civitato. Nothing. So literally it's just Reverberation Ensemble. I need to beat off Argalia. Well, that's not going to happen today because we're like right at the end of stream time. Like genuinely, I just beat all of Hawkma's floor in one go. Like straight up, I'm pretty proud of myself. I think that went pretty well. Obviously, I think Roland's final one is going to be a whole other thing, but all things considered, I feel the wind down. I feel the how should I say, like the achievements have rolled in, and complete all reception accessible by general invitation. 0.55% have gotten that one. I'm feeling like we're gonna be in the cleanup phase pretty soon because we, view all small stories just popped in. That's I think we're starting to wind down. Yeah, thank you, Fatal. It's a better stream because you're here though. Keter is brutal. I'm gonna just assume that anything going forward is going to be equally as brutal as Hawkma's, Hawkma and Bina's end runs. I'm just going to assume that whatever I run into is going to be even worse. I am going to say, like, I think they went easy on me by not putting a time limit on a White Knight, the White Knight fight. I genuinely thought that Paradise Lost was going to wind up with some sort of time constraint, because that was one of the most difficult parts about dealing with White Knight in Lobotomy Corporation. But yeah, next stream, which is tomorrow, is going to be Argalia. You missed the really funny interaction if you try to use the menu in Price of Silence like LobCorp. He just kills you. I'm not surprised, but I don't regularly use the pause menu unless I'm about to leave. Unless I'm about to quit, I don't pause. I don't like press escape, but that makes perfect sense. That if you tried to press escape, he would just kill you. Perfect. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thanks for being here. The stream is genuinely better. It would be nothing without you guys here, genuinely. I'd just be playing video games. But I'm delighted to share and hyped. We are getting towards the end of the game. We've done realizations for every single librarian, every single patron, except for Roland. But we did unlock Roland's special page, which I'd like to start using the Black Silence a little bit more. But it's like we unlock so many cool things, and then we're on Argalia. So I think next stream we're probably going to spend some time putting together a couple of decks. I might just jump in. Because right now, functionally, we have, I want to say, like, maybe a dozen builds that are kind of, like, left over from before. That exist, but are not goated with the sauce, so to speak. But, essentially, I think I'm just gonna jump in. Like, what people have said up until this point is just basically saying that I'm gonna need to be prepared to deal with a bunch of shit. But at the same time, what I'm looking at here is that we've got a bunch of stuff that's pretty solid, a bunch of builds that are pretty solid. I can run essentially, I think I could throw together pretty quickly another full floor of people. But definitely using Jebra and Roland, because Jebra and Roland have the patron librarians. Jebra, Roland, and Bina could probably be the builds that I try to start off with, unless I'm forced to use a specific floor. But we're just gonna have to see how it goes. I mean, I got the one hint that the next thing is probably going to need me to have more than the builds that I currently have available, and then I'm going to need to probably have more key pages ready to go. But I mean, none of the achievements are missable, which means that if I do progress, if I do start the Argalia chain fight, the worst thing that could possibly happen is I have to go all the way back to the beginning of the Argalia fight, which is the game. That's what we've done up until this point. So yeah, no hints of any kind. I'll figure shit out later. I'll learn by doing, if you will. You guys are dope. Dope and cool and great. And I love you. I'll see you next time. Sweet dreams. Have a wonderful day, or wherever you happen to be in the world. I hope it's good. And I'll see y'all next time, okay? Toodles. Bye bye, Boo Bear.